I think we are back. Episode 145 of the PA Term Pod. What, been like a month hiatus, it feels like. But
Yeah,
we're back. We're back.
something
We're
like
back.
that.
It's,
Hello, everybody. What do you want
hi.
to talk about?
What do you want to talk about?
I mean, what aren't we going to talk about today? We
The
got a
earth,
lot on the
the shattering earthquake on the East Coast.
yeah, the life-changing earthquake.
The
The
monsoon that happened last week leading up to WrestleMania in Philly.
the clouds came out for about 3 hours during the eclipse.
The eclipse, I forgot about that. I didn't even notice it, honestly.
Yeah, it was a little cloudy where I was. I don't think it really ever got dark.
Yeah, it was just cloudy. It was nice out. Beautiful on
Yeah,
Sunday.
it was nice today too.
It
Except for we got rain when I left work, but it was nice for the most part today.
Nah, it was been cloudy and rainy today for us
Mm.
down here. But yeah, man, what do you want to talk about? What do you want to start? I mean, we
There's
have a
nothing to
lot.
talk about.
There's nothing to talk about. I mean, we
So
took a
for
month
everybody
off.
listening, so for the people listening, the reason we were took a little bit of a hiatus, I actually don't know why we missed the first one, the first Thursday, but I was in Seattle 2 weeks ago and Chicago last week, and all of a sudden the world came. There really wasn't anything to talk about anyway. I mean, opening day, I don't know how many people wanted to hear us talk about the Phillies bullpen for an hour.
It was our off season.
Um,
That's what happened.
now we got a bunch now. A little bit of the Ipe Mizuharu stuff came out today. A little bit more. Pleaded, I think, guilty. There were some FBI findings that were definitely scare tactic by Rob Manfred. Um, we got the CM Punk footage.
Oof.
It came out last night. Wrestling's real again, by the way. So if you're wondering, it's back to being real. That's not fake anymore. WrestleMania happens. I think a lot more people watch that than we realize because it's people. Shannon Sharp is talking about it. Chad Johnson talking about it. The people on Philly Sports Radio were talking about it.
It's quite literally the biggest show.
Crazy. Kyle Brandt from NFL Network was like, I've been to a million sporting events. This is my favorite. Ian Rappaport said the same thing. Ian Rappaport left before the main event.
Ariel Helwani was in attendance. He's an MMA guy.
I'm sure he was making everybody fall asleep while he spoke.
Pat
Yeah,
McAfee, the whole show was down there.
Yeah, we had the Helwani interview with Punk.
Ooh.
McAfee was there. I saw Mark Henry before night 2. They were doing the Busted Open Radio thing. Him and Don LaGreca's brother.
Nice.
Dave, I think, the guy that still actually thinks it's real still.
Tell him.
And who else was? Bubba Ray Dudley. Tommy Dreamer was there not with his gun though. He didn't try to kill Paul Heyman.
By the way, Hall of Fame, Paul Heyman. I mean, we missed a lot.
I didn't watch the whole speech. I only saw portions of it, but
I saw the whole.
He said the Minnesota guy's name. So and so did Triple H the next day.
Oh yeah.
The Minnesota piss lover.
So you're saying he's back?
We'll see. They should do an angle where he just comes out and pisses on people.
Oh Jesus.
I saw 4 more ballparks. I'm exhausted.
I don't know how you're doing it.
We had some crab fries with Harambe on Saturday. It was great. The Sixers are undefeated since Embiid came back. Mercury is probably in retrograde.
Someone said those seats were Harambe, Benoit, or
Dusty
Eddie
Rhodes.
Guerrero, or Dusty Rhodes.
Dusty Rhodes was up there. Someone said someone's eating a 4-piece nugget with Dusty Rhodes, which is funny because we were all the way up top and we saw pretty well. Let's jump into a little bit of the news and notes. So I try to separate this news and notes, broad strokes, and then some Philly sports stuff, and then we'll just dump right in. We'll just dump right into the stadiums, and then of course, and then for lack of a better term, the main event of the episode. So seeing as wrestling is real again, we're going to touch on it more later in the episode.
Right.
And even if you think it's stupid and it's gay or whatever, The Rock's back. So there you go. Now you have a reason to listen.
Right.
So Jordan Montgomery today fires Scott Boras as his agent after Boras cost him millions in free agency. What do you make of this? You think this might be the end of the Boras era where he's got a stranglehold on free agency?
Oh, 1,000%. I think we talked about this during the off season, early on in the off season when Nola got signed and all that. All these guys, because I guess Nola set the market. I think.
Yeah, Nola really set the market for pitchers, and then Otani. I talked with you about this. I think off the air. Otani's contract didn't do anything for the market, in my opinion, because it was so on its own stratosphere. But yeah, the Nola thing, and I think the Marcus Stroman deal kind of set the market for pitchers.
Right. So
They were the first two, and then the Japanese guys, notwithstanding, because
Yamamoto and
and Imanaga, the guy the Cubs signed, who's a fucking stud apparently. So
yeah, the Scott Boras era of holding out because you need my guy, so we're gonna get the
mhm.
most amount. That's over and done with. You got a lot more pitchers are more advanced now. There's a bunch more pitchers. You don't really you can get by with decent pitching. It's all about hitting now and also analytics, game wise, and all this other crap. Um, and you saw it. Bellinger held out. Reese goes back to the Cubs for like what a 1 2 year
What
deal,
was it, two
opt out.
years, 40 something million with an opt out? Yeah,
Um, Snell, same thing. I think 2 years,
Snell,
opt out with 1.
2 years. And
And
what's his name? Chapman got I think 3 years, like 70 something from
right,
the Giants with the two opt outs, I think.
isn't there somebody else, Lance Lynn or somebody, or
The other one would have been, well, Montgomery was the other one.
not Glass now?
It was who's the other Boris guy? It was Montgomery, Bellinger, Chapman,
It's somebody.
Snell.
It's another pitcher, I believe.
I have no idea.
Anyway, the basically the more
Josh Hader, maybe. Hader signed like
nah
a market value deal though. He got 4 years, I think.
the moral what I'm trying to say is Scott Boras has lost touch now. You basically now
Yeah.
are getting fired from Montgomery. Bryce Harper is now looking for a bigger deal, and if he don't get it, I guess he's still loyal to Boras. But
Hmm.
who else would, I guess besides the Yankees, would pay them or the Mets would pay Bryce Harper basically well into his 40s and 50s? I'm not buying that. I wouldn't do that. But yeah, I'm not surprised. I think this is the beginning of the end for the Boris era. I wouldn't be surprised if
Yeah,
Snell fires him also by the end of the season.
yeah. They called it the Boris Four. Montgomery was projected to get 5 years, about 100 million. He got 1 year, 25 from the Diamondbacks.
Oof. Yeah,
Not good. Well, the thing is, right now, I mean, all the big pitchers are blowing their arms out left and right. I mean,
Strider went down, right?
Strider might need Tommy John. Shane Bieber's out for the year.
What?
Uh,
Cleveland?
Framber Valdez was scratched the other night with elbow soreness.
Is that the Astros?
Uh, yeah, the guy that
Damn.
was cheating. He had the fucking pine tar in his hair. And then Senga's got the shoulder issue. Kershaw's hurt right now. You got DeGrom still recovering. Scherzer still recovering. I think was it
Verlander?
Kyle Bradish? Is Bradish hurt?
I don't know. I haven't followed.
I know that uh, if he's not hurt yet, Chris Sale will be hurt. Garrett Cole's out, and there's someone else. Oh, Giolito blew his arm out with the Red Sox. There's so many guys right now that are just out, and we're waiting on inevitable return. I mean, even for the Phillies, the only guy, Andrew Painter got Tommy John last year. They're waiting on a Ryan Kerkering to come back. There's injuries left and right.
Yes, I forgot about him.
Yeah, it's upsetting. Justin Steele is hurt right now for the Cubs. It's very sad.
What do you make of this? What's going on?
So there's such an obsession right now with spinning the ball and throwing it as hard as possible and having the ball break as much as you can that pitchers, in my opinion, I'm not obviously not on a major league training staff. I'm not a major league, you know, at nothing having to do with the major leagues.
Right.
But I can tell you at the lower levels, I think the root of this problem, this could be an episode all by itself. The root of the problem right now is athletes are being asked to pick a sport so young and become specialized, and they're doing too much of the same thing all the time. So if you have a 12-year-old son or nephew or even 10-year-old who, when you and I were younger, you played baseball in the spring, you played soccer in the fall, you played football, you played basketball, you played everything.
Right.
And now it's okay. You throw really hard, you're going to be a pitcher forever. So all you do all year is pitch. And these football players, all they do all year is lift weights and run and do this. And basketball players, all they do is get up shots. And basketball players are less prone to injuries than baseball players. But when you're doing the same thing over and over, and this applies to baseball players, even hitters, a lot of hitters are getting Tommy John now. I mean, Didi Gregorius got Tommy John. Bryce Harper got Tommy John. There's someone else got Tommy John. Matt Wieters got Tommy John. Like, it's a thing. When they're specializing so young
Right.
and focusing on the same muscle groups all the time, you're just going to wear them down. And I think it was Pedro Martinez said the other day, he's like, I didn't lift a weight my entire life. We just worked out the ligaments and the joints, and I was fine forever. And nowadays, pitchers are lifting weights, they're lifting heavy, they're doing this, they're doing that, they're just wearing themselves down.
He's also
And there's such
Dominican.
an
He's a naturally
true.
gifted.
Yeah, that's true. He's just naturally good. But like they're wearing themselves down because there's so much data now
Yeah.
with how many RPMs the ball, like how the ball spins and how many and this and how much it's moving. and they're so obsessed with getting that extra inch of break or that less break on the fastball, and all this. And I think it's honestly taking a toll on their arms. I don't think. Well, obviously the human arm is not supposed to go above the head and throw.
Right.
Softball players don't get Tommy John. Baseball players do. And I don't think pitchers should be pitching every 5 days. I think it should be closer to every 6 or 7, honestly, like they do in Japan and Korea.
I mean, you would have to change the rules of baseball. You would have to add more roster spots, and then the traditional 5-man roster or rotation could be a 6-man rotation.
Yeah, and it's also to touch on that. I feel like the extra roster spot they added a few years ago during the COVID thing, where they eventually made it 26 instead of like 28 or 30. Um, the starting pitchers, you don't see the lineup 3 times, so they're going max effort all the time. When we were younger, guys like Justin Verlander, they would start the game at like 95, 96 and finish at like 99, 100 because they're pacing themselves. Nowadays, it's a max effort all the time. Throw as hard as you can. You're only going to see everybody twice, and it's killing. The relievers too. They're throwing as hard as they possibly can,
Also, everyone's on a
spinning the
pitch
ball as
clock.
much as they can. It's
Everyone's
just I
also
think
on
the
a pitch
max
clock.
effort thing. Yeah,
It is max
there's too
effort.
much data.
Do you think also, and we'll move on. Do you also to Buster only, no less? Do you
Yeah,
think it's also the pitch clock? Because now you're
I don't
forced
think
to.
that's
But in the kind of it speeds the game. That's a good thing. I know it's a good
the
thing.
Flyers are currently winning a hockey game. Sorry.
I don't care about the Flyers right now. Good for them though. Hopefully they get something out of that. Um, the pitch clock. I know it makes baseball faster, and it is
Yeah.
in person for sure, definitely on TV. But you're forcing pitchers to basically reset and go again, as you said, max effort at every pitch.
Yeah.
If not, it costs a walk or a balk, and then also throwing to first and second, which is great, the pickoff. But if you
Mhm.
don't get it, you're forced to either get him, get a balk, or go out to the batter. I mean, all these rules could be little factors that equate to all
Yeah.
these pitchers getting Tommy John or injuries,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, it very well could be a death by a thousand paper cuts. I mean, um, the thing is that when you're throwing a bullpen, you are generally, and this I don't have a ton of experience watching these or watching Major League bullpens. Major League bullpens are paced pretty similarly to how the game is now, where it's throw the pitch, get the ball back, pitch again. It's not like throw the ball, take your hat off, wipe your sweat away. Like, no, you're throwing 50 pitches. It takes 15 minutes. Like, it doesn't take that long. Um,
Right.
so I mean, I think there's a possibly something to do with it, but even Justin Verlander doesn't think so, and he's at this point like an expert on these arm injuries, and he's the one I think who is spearheading this whole like, no, we're just being told to throw as hard as we can all the time and spin the ball as much as possible. That our elbows are just becoming mush, and I think pitchers throw too much as it is. I understand that you do have to go in there and kind of break up some of that the tissue that's being damaged when you're pitching, but like if you say it's 5 days, you pitch tonight. Today it's Wednesday. Thursday you're off. You throw your bullpen on like Friday or Saturday. You're throwing 85 pitches at max effort tonight in relatively cold weathers in most of these cities. Obviously, some of them are climate controlled because of the roofs and stuff, and some are just on the West Coast and everything. But for the most part, right now it's kind of cold. You're pitching, then you're taking a day or two, and then you're throwing your bullpen, and then you're doing more of your throwing program, and then you're pitching in another game. Like it's kind of hard to sustain that.
Feels archaic.
It is a little wild. I think it's either the KBO um or whatever I forget, NPB maybe is the Japanese. I forget the Japanese league. The KBO is in the Korean league. Um, we still got poop. It's been 3 innings.
For the
In these and
context,
the
for the
in
context, it's Pirates versus Phillies. The context.
and the
Someone's
score
listening
is
to
zero
like, what are you
zero.
talking about?
But I think it's in those leagues you just pitch once a week, and in college you pitch once a week. Like you go to college or the A's, you're the Friday pitcher. Like you pitch the same day every week.
I mean, that could be something. Less is more always. Usually that's the case.
Yeah,
Moving on, Buster only believes Juan Soto of the Yankees will get more money than Shohei Ohtani.
I
Uh,
gotta figure this one out because I heard it within its context, but I didn't hear the entire interview.
well, I'm just reading what I see here.
Yeah.
Off my knee jerk reaction based off of this sentence, Buster only believes Juan Soto will get more money than Shohei Ohtani.
Is that because Otani's losing all of his money from betting or
or is
I
it?
mean, he said it. He was on the Michael K show, and he said he thinks that Soto's market value right now is like 461, but he could see him passing Otani. I'm thinking to myself, that's absurd.
Well, I don't think Soto's going to defer all his money. So
Yeah. And Soto's only going to go to the highest bidder. He's not going to be like Trey Turner, where my wife wanted to go to the East. No, if the Kansas City Royals offered him $600 million, he's going to Kansas City.
that's true. That's true. But you never know. You never know his situation with his home life. Maybe
Yeah,
someone they want to go West Coast. They want
yeah, you never know.
best chance of winning a chip, or whoever gets me the most money, and that's where I'm gonna
Yeah,
be, like Bryce
which
Harper in a way, making my home.
which I mean, I feel like the favorite in the clubhouse right now is what's his name, the New York Mets, because the Cohen's just sitting on that unlimited budget.
But if he doesn't like to be in the Yankees, what's he gonna do going across the borough and be like, oh, this is even better
Yeah, slightly different fan base, slightly different media coverage, but still a big deal.
for sure.
Like if Aaron Judge were the captain of the Mets, nobody would give a shit when he goes, 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. He flew out with the bases loaded the other night. It's probably all they're talking about on radio right now.
And Perry's flipping out.
Probably.
But I think I don't think he'll make more. I think he'll make close enough. He'll make his bread for sure. He's winning either way.
He's getting 400 plus. I mean, Machado got 10,300. I think Soto's a better player than Machado. He's probably not better than Betts or Trout, but I mean, given the current climate, I think he gets 400 plus, depending on how long the deal is.
Yeah, that's true. Or like
Just a question of
incentives.
where.
Is Scott Boras his agent? Because if that's the
I
case,
think he is.
oh, then he's definitely not. He's probably getting 300
Yeah, 3 years, 45 million.
with an opt out after two.
I'm almost positive he's a Boris guy. Yeah, he's a Boris guy.
Jesus.
Maybe Boris just took the offseason off because he knows next year he's just going to be working 24/7 for Soto.
Right. All
And
right.
he's working on the stupid Harper thing.
Do you want to get into the punk footage or the Philly Sports
So,
Roundup?
what makes more sense? Because the punk foot, I guess we could do the punk footage when we get to like the wrestling time.
The wrestling. All right.
I just put that there because it's technically not WWE.
Right. Right.
Although
Right.
it
Right.
probably gave them, he probably sold more merch today than he did yesterday.
I mean,
It's amazing. He's the biggest draw in two different companies. He's not even active on either roster.
right.
It's insane. For people listening, we will explain this.
Yeah.
As silly as it sounds.
So stay tuned.
Yeah, absolutely. Philly Sports Roundup. So the Flyers losers of 8 straight. John Tortorella, not necessarily on the hot seat because he seems to be part of the front office, but very upsetting. They've just kind of quit down the stretch. And before we got on, or maybe even as we were getting on, I looked at the standings. They are 2 points out of a playoff spot. So theoretically, they can still get in. Now they got the Rangers ahead of them.
And they're winning tonight, though, right? You said.
They are currently up 1-0 halfway through the first. The standings as it stands right now, so their only hope is to get the second wild card because Tampa's the top wild card and they're 95 points. Philly is currently the 5 in terms of wild cards, so they got to jump 2 other teams to get in. Actually, 3 other teams. Washington's got 85 points with 4 games left. Beneath them, Pittsburgh 84. I'm sorry, Washington has 85 points. Pittsburgh and Detroit both have 84 with 4 games left. Flyers only have 3 games left, and they have 83, so they basically have to win out and hope that Washington, Pittsburgh, and Detroit also don't win out. Because the Flyers' best bet is they finish with 89 points, which would get them no higher than the second wild card because they're not going to catch Tampa. And I believe they finished the year with Washington. So they have the Rangers tonight. They have Jersey on Saturday and then Tuesday at Washington. Jersey's terrible, but they're right behind the Flyers. They've kind of surged recently, and Pittsburgh is on fire right now. They have won, I think, 10 of their last 12, and they are fighting for a playoff spot that they might even get in. So that Flyers Caps game for the last game of the year is either going to be a playoff game for the Caps or it's Flyers playing spoiler or the Flyers need to win to get in. We'll see. I don't know.
Exciting moment. Exciting time for NHL. I mean,
they are ahead of schedule, it seems, though, because of the fact that they're in it right now. And it's kind of taboo subject, but I mean, if not for the Carter Hart thing, I think they'd probably be in a playoff spot right now.
Yeah,
because Ersson has had to play like 50 games this year with Carter Hart's absence. Fedotov doesn't seem all that good. Sandstrom was terrible. Peterson was terrible. All the goaltending situation's a problem going forward.
How about the 7'5" goalie that they picked up?
Yeah, the Fedotov. He was fine the first game he played, but he got lit up the other night.
Jesus Christ. Well, we'll keep an eye on the Flyers throughout the episode. I I mean, they are
Yeah.
currently winning, so it could be
So
the
if you hear
start
a
of a
goal
run.
horn, it's my phone letting me know they scored.
Did they?
No,
Potentially. Oh,
it's 1-0.
of course. All right. Eagles, as you mentioned, I believe at the top of the show, Eagles signing tight end CJ Uzama. Once upon a time, was a threat for the Cincinnati Bengals, and then disappeared into the abyss that is known the Jets. Making a
Yeah, into
reappearance.
the Rogers atmosphere.
Right. The 31-year-old might be 32 by the time the season's over. Signs a 1 year deal. The money's undisclosed. What do you make of it?
Can't be that much. I've been saying this since probably the first episode of the podcast. I wanted the Eagles to invest in backup tight end in the worst way, and they still haven't until now. So I'm excited about it. Even if he's not that good, um, it's still way better than Stoll, Calcaterra. I think they did re-sign Albert O,
Who?
which is kind of cool because now they have three Oku Budum or whatever his name is, Kui Budum. They now have three tight ends, which is exciting. And Uzama is a veteran. He's been on pretty good teams in the past, and he knows. I'm not going to say he knows how to win, but he's been in locker rooms for 15 years now or whatever it is, 10 years.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to be a welcome addition to this team. And at least he's not going to be starting caliber, but if God forbid Goddard gets hurt again, at least you got a competent backup. You're not throwing Jack Stoll and Grant Calcaterra out there for one catch a season. So
And he's a receiving tight end. I don't know about his blocking, if he's more of if he's a balance or more of one or the other. But
mm-hmm.
I like the backup position for a tight end. We don't have one. The closest we
Haven't
had
had one in forever.
was Brent Selleck and Ertz, and then Ertz and the bull who threw the touchdown in the Super Bowl.
Trey Burton was great. So last year, only 8 catches in 12 games for 58 yards. The
Zach
year
Wilson, though.
prior, keep in mind who was throwing the ball to him. The year prior, 21 catches, 232 yards. But the year before that, he had 493 yards with Cincinnati. So, I mean, again, nothing special, but way better than Alberto, way better than Stoll, way better than Calcaterra.
Right. I I haven't seen this yet.
Oh,
Can
the poop is in
someone?
peril. We got a man at scoring position.
Can we have someone? Can we have a team replicate what the Patriots did with Hernandez and Gronk? A dual tight end. And I know there's a joke coming in, but let me just give me this time. A dual tight end that is absolutely a threat, especially with the top wideouts on the outside and a devastating slot. A quarterback who's competent and a running game that's decent behind an offensive line. That screams like a powerhouse juggernaut offense. But yet, we have a blocking tight end that's just there for blocking. We have a receiving tight end that sometimes has to be forced to block. Running game is being thrown in the trash because Sirianni just gives up on the run. And then Hurts is just trying to play hero ball. It's asinine.
I think the Belichick thing was him exploiting a market inefficiency where at that time, tight ends were not getting paid big money the way they are now.
Right.
Like you go to the Niners, Kittle's making good money. Even Goddard's making good money. But the big names, Andrews, Kittle, Waller prior to his retirement, whoever else. I think he did retire, whatever.
Waller?
But all the big name tight ends are making good money now. Whereas back then, I mean, they had 2 young tight ends on rookie deals, and they realized, all right, it's too expensive to pay the wideouts when I got to pay my quarterback all this money and my defense all this money. Let me go find tight ends that can do me, a good job for me. And I think it was just a market inefficiency where they found, a cheap offensive weapon position and loaded up that one position. I don't think it's a terrible idea, especially with how unique and athletic tight ends are now.
Right.
I mean, this kid Bowers coming out in the draft is going to be a stud from day one. And same with Iowa, all the tight ends that come out of there are studs. So I would love it, but every offense is now just like enamored with speed. You look at the Dolphins, you look at the Chiefs, look at all these teams that are good. It's just they get fast guys everywhere.
That's true. Yep, you pose a question here as well under the CJ Uzama bulletin. Should the Eagles move up or down in the draft? Note, they have the 22nd overall pick in this year's draft. They just picked up CJ Uzama. I don't know much about this, so I'm going to let you take the reins on it. I don't even know what our need is. There's a plethora of them, but they made some moves in free agency.
Yeah, my thought process here is that their biggest need might be on the offensive line. And if they stay pat at 22, they're probably getting the fifth or sixth best offensive lineman,
Mm.
and that guy is probably not going to start from day one. I'd rather either move up and find a stud, or move back and get some more assets for day two. Because I mean, Howie's not a great drafter. You might as well give him more tickets to the lottery, and see if maybe one of them hits, as
Would
opposed to sticking at 22 and kind of ending up with another Marcus Smith or Danny Watkins.
would you? Let's take the route if you move down, right? You give up the 22nd overall pick. Do you get a bunch of picks to then parlay that into a blockbuster trade for a player, or you pick up, you know, draftees in third, fourth, fifth, sixth
Yeah.
rounds?
I think if you trade back, you're probably going to get like the 28th pick or something, or maybe the 33rd pick, and then like another one, maybe a second or a third in addition to it.
Mm-hmm.
It really depends on who's there because every draft somebody falls, and there will be somebody at a position where a team, anywhere in the next five picks after them might need a receiver, or might need a quarterback, or might need a running back, or might need a tackle, and all of a sudden you're in a position of power where you probably have phone calls coming in left and right. Hey, we really like that center that's on the board, that tackle that's on the board, that D tackle on the board. What do you say we give you the 27? We move up five spots and we throw you a third round pick. Okay, fine, works for me. Or here, I don't know if they're going to be trading for any players, especially given their cap situation.
Mm.
And it feels also like kind of a weird transition year, kind of like from 18 to 19 for them, where I think that they can afford to take a slight step back if it means improving the future. And especially on defense, where after this upcoming season, Slay and Bradbury are probably gone. We'll see if CJ is still here. Graham's going to be gone. Cox is already gone. Like, we're in a weird kind of transition type of deal.
This could be the window closing for the
I hope
most
not.
part. I mean,
Who knows what Arthur Brown wants to do going forward.
Jesus.
But they're in talks with Devontae Smith, supposedly.
Yeah, they are actually. Hopefully, he gets a good deal. I think I saw somewhere that the deal might surpass AJ Brown's. Is there any truth to that?
I read it was from projected to be about 4 years, like $96 million. So I think it'll be around that AJ Brown number, probably lower, but still a lot of money for a number two receiver who may eventually end up just being the number one.
Yeah, honestly. All right. Lastly, the Philly Sports Roundup. Sixers are currently 5-0 since Joel Embiid's return late in the season with 2 games left in the season. Are they a problem? Are they the best number 7 seed currently right now in recent
They're,
memory?
they're the most dangerous team after the Knicks in the seeding right now, I think, because I think 1, 2, and 3 looks like it'll be Celtics, Bucks, Knicks, and then Cleveland is 4, and after that it's kind of murky.
Magic?
Where I think it's Cleveland, Orlando, Philly. It comes to Cleveland, Indiana, Philly, or Cleveland, or whatever. It's Cleveland, Orlando, Indiana, Philly, and then it's Miami, whoever else. But I think that they are in a really good position right now because if they win their last 2 games and they move up to the 6 and they take on the Knicks in the first round, if they're able to take care of the Knicks, then they take on Milwaukee in the second round and they avoid Boston until the conference final.
I'll pull up the standings, but I'm pretty sure they host the next 2 games, and it's Orlando tomorrow, Friday, and
Yep.
I believe Saturday next day or Sunday it's the Nets, who historically have beaten the Sixers for some reason. They just
Yeah.
can't get out of their own ways. So let me
Yeah, I don't know
pull
what
up.
it is. Well, probably because they suck, but I mean, so they have right ahead of them is Indiana, Orlando, Cleveland, and they are within striking distance of Indiana and Orlando. So it's possible they start the playoffs against Cleveland on the road. And I doubt the NBA wants a Cleveland Orlando or Cleveland Indiana series in the first round.
Who do you call up? Scott Foster.
Call up the fixer. After that, you got Miami, Chicago, Atlanta below the Sixers, and I don't think Chicago or Atlanta can catch them, but Miami can. Sixers have at least clinched a playoff spot, or at least a play-in spot.
What's the best case scenario that you want? You want them to win out, correct?
I just want them to end up with the 5 seed.
So what would need to happen? Because right now,
I'm sorry.
Friday,
I'm sorry. No, I want them to have the 6 seed. I want them to have the 6 seed, so they would have to win out, and then they need Indiana to lose at least one.
because right now, here's Friday's schedule. Orlando, who's ahead of them by what 2 seeds, I believe. Orlando comes
Yeah,
to
they
Philly.
are one full game behind Orlando.
All right, so Orlando comes to Philly. That's one.
That's a win.
Pacers are in Cleveland same day.
That is a tough one as well. I think Cleveland takes that,
And
which means if the
then
Sixers win, they're in a virtual tie with Indiana and Orlando.
nothing else for the East that could matter.
Yeah, at this point, those are the only games that matter. Miami's behind them,
But here's
which
another
could
one.
matter.
Sunday, the final game of the season, you have jeez, I just had it. Nets into town like I mentioned, but then you
Mm.
have I just had it. What is it? Oh, the Bucks head to Orlando. And then for the Pacers, they host Atlanta, who's in a playoff spot in the play-in.
Yeah, they are fighting for the 9 seed. I don't really think that matters
But I'm saying
because
if they
they've
don't
already
just
clinched.
die, but what I'm saying is seating wise for
Yeah,
the Pacers, they don't want to rest on their laurels because you might
yeah,
fall into this play-in.
yeah. The play-in is what you want to avoid. And Indiana, at this point, so Indiana has 2 games left against Cleveland on the road. Oh, the poop's gone.
Good.
Alec Bohm solo home run. Cleveland on the road and then and Atlanta at home. Not a back
Oh,
to back, but
rest in peace, OJ. Shout out to Bohm for hitting the home run.
fuck OJ. I sound like The Rock. Fuck this. Fuck that. You're ugly. Fuck you. Your mom's stupid.
Family friendly show here, buddy. Come
Yeah,
on, brother.
PG brother.
PG brother.
That's his first of the year. It took long enough.
Tuesday.
You,
Tuesday. All right.
you need Indiana to lose a game, and you got to win one. Or you got to win 2. So if the Sixers lose one of their last 2, they're in the play-in essentially.
It's do or die, really.
And there's a chance they end up being on the road in Miami because right now they're at home against Miami. Terrifying. Playing Miami in general is terrifying, but I think that they'll be fine.
I don't know, man. The
But even if they
Nets.
lose, they have to play against. Even if they lose and they end up as the 8 seed, they got to beat Chicago or Atlanta. I think that's fine, and I think they'll be fine. The problem is they got to take on Boston in the first round.
But this isn't Doc Rivers Sixers, all right?
Yeah, that's true. This is Nick Nurse.
We've beaten Boston, I believe, right? Out of the 17
You got
losses.
Slick Nick. They have beaten Boston this year, yeah, and Embiid being back and somewhat healthy
We're the
is
hottest
important.
team next to the Dallas Mavericks. We are the hottest team in the NBA right now. It's not even close. Not even close. Winners of 6 straight are the Sixers. Winners of 5 straight are the Mavericks. Both. Well, not both. Dallas is in the 5 seed secured spot. Sixers can do some damage because the Magic are losers of 2 straight. Pacers back on the win column 3 in a row. I don't know, man. I think we can end up with the 5th seed. I think we can end up with the 5th seed.
That'd be great because then they end up playing.
Orlando.
Then they get Cleveland in the first round.
And I'm cool with that. Are you cool with that?
Yeah,
Oh, that didn't sound too confident.
I'd rather play Cleveland than the Knicks. Is my stance but the good thing about playing the Knicks is by the end of those games, the Knicks starters are going to be gassed because Hartenstein and Robinson's going to have to play 40 minutes against Embiid in a playoff series. Even on the road, I'll take the Sixers. Yeah, shout out Tibbs, he's gonna turn Josh Hart to the next Derrick Rose. Poor Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson and OG Anunoby and Bake McBride or whatever his name. Deuce McBride. Bake McBride's at Philly. Deuce McBride playing 48 minutes a game.
Oh, and Bogdanovich or Bogdanovich,
Yeah,
whichever.
he's been a letdown for them, hasn't he? He's been shit. I thought.
In his heyday when he was with, I think, Utah.
Yeah, he was with Utah. Before that, he was with Orlando. Or not Orlando, Washington.
Ball was lights out.
Yeah, he seems like the kind of guy that would just catch fire in a series against the Sixers, though.
Yeah, right. Leave him open. Yeah, I mean, it's.
Yeah, he went from averaging 20 points a game with Detroit to 10 points a game with the Knicks. Well, 3-point shooting has dropped. Yeah, 3-point shooting has dropped 5%. Field goal percentage has dropped 4%. Free throw percentage has gone up.
Dare I say he's their Furkan Korkmaz?
Who knows? I'd take him here in a heartbeat. He'd be like the 3rd best player on the Sixers.
He'd be Buddy Hield. I'll let them.
You know who would be a lot of fun to watch the playoff series, but also excruciating and make you want to pull your eyeballs out? I feel like Kelly Oubre is going to be that guy. He's going to drop 35 in game 2 against somebody, and then in game 3 he's going to go 0 for 12 from 3 and with like 4 fouls and just get scored on at will. But I love his effort, and it seems like Nurse loves him.
He's dope, bro. I like him.
I like Kelly Oubre. He's my favorite random Sixer in the last, God knows, 20 years, honestly.
I can agree with
Like
that.
he's ahead of like Chris Webber, and he's ahead of those guys. Jimmy
I
Butler.
forgot Weber was there. Yeah, he's pretty
Yeah,
dope.
Webber. Yeah, I like Oubre a lot. I like Campaign's been playing pretty well too, and so is Kyle Lowry. I'm interested to see how Lowry and Embiid work together in a playoff series, especially when they get a chance to exploit like guys like Brunson and the Phillies tweeted wipe that zero off the board. Um,
Also,
they know what they're doing.
I see that. Also, playoff Kyle Lowry is another thing as well. That's a real thing with
Yeah,
experience,
yeah,
especially
and
for
with Nick
Maxi
Nurse too.
and Nick. Yeah,
Yeah,
come on now.
this is a make or break year for Maxey in the playoffs too. I know last year it was kind of like the uncool thing to do to criticize him because it's fun to criticize Harden and Embiid. But there were times last year where I was saying, I don't know how often we were recording at this point, but I was saying to people, probably you, I'm like, at what point are we going to be allowed to criticize this guy? Because he kind of disappeared for the entire Celtics series. I know he was good against Brooklyn, but the Celtics series was a bit of an issue.
Is it more of disappearing or is more of the ball handler at the time?
Well, yeah, that plays into it for sure, and it's hard to put Maxi and tell him to go stand in the corner, but we saw it 2 years ago when Simmons was out, and then before they traded for Harden, and then currently now that Harden's gone, Maxi with the ball in his hands, I think is the best version of Maxi. His turnovers, he played what 52 minutes the other night, or something like that against the Spurs. He had one turnover.
Jesus Christ, didn't know that.
They went to double overtime during WrestleMania, and they beat the Spurs in overtime. I think he played 52 minutes and had one turnover.
Jesus Christ.
He's incredible.
Yeah, he's great. But yeah, you're right. I mean, at some point, criticism is going to head his way if he comes up short in the playoffs. Because you need to average like 5 to 8 more points in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Maybe
because
more.
you're playing more, and Oubre is going to be another one of those guys. He's playing 38, 40 minutes in the playoffs. Um, Tobias Hitler's going to be playing like 40 minutes in the playoffs. I mean,
What
it's
did you
going to
just
be
call this man?
and Embiid. And we'll see how Paul Reed and Mo Bamba work as the backup fives or Batum or whoever they go with. But Embiid's going to have to play 40 minutes a night. And I worry that if he gets, just gassed out by the time they get to the Celtics, that there's going to be easy pickings for them. But it
Jesus
makes more.
Christ.
You just got to get in and and worry about it later. You just got to get in. Worry about who's in front of you.
True. All right. Before we get into the wrestling main event portion of the episode, while we were on our little hiatus, Rob, you took a nice little vacation to the Midwest
Yep.
and
Yeah.
Seattle to start off the MLB season. How was this experience? Run it down.
Pacific Northwest. Seattle was a nice little getaway. First time going that. Well, actually, that's the farthest I think I will have flown. I guess the farthest you can fly in the United States from here.
Alaska, no?
Well, yeah. Well, continental United States, I guess, or Alaska or Hawaii. But Seattle, we got there first day. It was kind of chilly, rainy, just as advertised.
Right.
And we hit opening day in Seattle, which was very, very cool.
Roof open?
Got
No, closed.
Roof was closed opening day. It was raining that day, but we went on Thursday the 28th, and then Friday the 29th to the Mariners,
Mm-hmm.
and the roof was open the second day. It was beautiful out. Still kind of chilly, but it was like still nice out. We got off the bus too soon on the first day, so we wound up walking about 15 minutes to the stadium, which was fine. Got to travel the town, saw the fish market and stuff. Went to the aquarium.
Did you catch
After
a
those
fish?
two, no, we didn't get any fish or anything. But we
No,
went
did you
to
catch?
oh yeah, because they throw them right.
Yes.
Um,
But did you experience
yeah,
that? Did you watch it at least?
I didn't watch a whole lot. We were walking through there to try to find the aquarium. I was trying to take it all in, and we were eventually once we got done that we were running short on time
Oof.
because the Mariners played that night. But the day we flew in there, so I've flown to the West Coast once, and that was my honeymoon. We flew to San Francisco. That was after a work day. That was after everything. So we flew in. I think I got done work that day at like 4 o'clock. We flew there. We got there at like 11 o'clock their time. So it didn't feel like that long of a day, even though it was a 6-hour flight and everything. This day, because we flew out first thing in the morning, we got to the airport at 5, and our flight was I think at 7 or 8 o'clock maybe.
Mm-hmm.
We got there about 2 o'clock. It was like 11:30 or 12 their time. It felt like the longest day of my life by the time I went to sleep, because I went to sleep at like 11, which was 2 our time, after getting up at like 3 our time to get to the airport. But it was a cool experience. The ballpark's very nice. This was probably the one I was the most excited about, at least recently. It's the most exciting one that was left, I guess, for me. outside of I guess Wrigley too. But like last year, I was excited to go to LA and San Francisco, and not as excited to go to like Anaheim, Petco, and the Coliseum. But this I from pictures and from experience, the fans all seem cool and everything. It was a fun little experience. The ballpark was nice. It was weird with a roof, and not just a roof, but a roof that doesn't control the temperature at all. Because the stadium, just imagine CBP with a roof, but still open areas. Like it's not enclosed. Like we were in Milwaukee, it was a dome. Like
Right,
it was
right.
fully enclosed. It does open, but it's fully enclosed. Seattle, it doesn't really do anything for the temperature, so it was still windy and cold, except there was a lid.
I get it. I
So
get it. I get it.
it's like if you keep the windows open in your house, but the roof is there. If it rains, you don't feel the rain, but you feel the cold.
Right.
But a nice stadium, easy to walk around. We took a lap the second day when it was a lot nicer. Caught a little bit of batting practice. I'm not. I don't know. Stadium food is expensive, but I like to try some of the random stuff at other places. They had like a crab sandwich that I tried was really good. They do have ice cream helmets, so acknowledging. Um, very fun, very fun. The people were nice. We had great seats for both games. We were in the first row on the third base side opening day, and then the second row behind home plate in the upper deck the second game. Then we saw the Kraken get shut out on Saturday, which was great. Didn't even get to hear the goal horn.
I think you also saw the Mariners on opening day take a loss as well, right?
Yeah, they lost I think 8-6, but we did see Mitch Haniger hit a home run in his return to Seattle.
Ooh.
He's the guy a couple years ago ruptured his testicle on a foul ball in spring training, missed most of the year. Briefly went to the Giants, then got traded back to Seattle this offseason. Then the second day, we got to see the Iron Pig Hall of Fame. Nick Pivetta allowing a home run to, oh shit, it's tied. Nick Pivetta allowing a home run to J.P. Crawford, which was really good. They love him there.
Crawford?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
feel it.
he's like the second most popular jersey, or third, I guess, behind Griffey and J Rod.
J Rod.
J Rod has been terrible all year so far, too. But it was a lot of fun. And then the Kraken game was fun. People were very nice. We got a Kraken ice cream helmet. It's like a goalie mask. It's really
That's pretty
cool.
cool. I did see
Stadium is
that.
actually, the arena is really cool. So if you look up pictures, you'll be able to see. The pictures don't do it justice, though. We were behind the goal that they shot at in the second period. So I guess the left side on the camera. And behind, or just behind us, was a big glass window, which they keep open during day games. It was closed for the night game, but they keep it open because the whole thing is Climate Pledge Arena. They're big in everything being sustainable, solar energy, all that stuff. Because of course it's Seattle,
Okay.
dudes in dresses, whole 9 yards. Um, but the actual concourse is absolutely gorgeous. They have a big like grass wall, I guess, kind of cool.
Hmm.
And people are super friendly too. But that was a really fun experience. In hindsight, we should have gone to the Kraken on Thursday, saw them beat um, the Ducks instead of seeing them get shut out on Saturday. And on Saturday, naturally, the one day of the three that we weren't at the Mariners game, they walk it off in extras.
Ah,
So great.
right. But the experience was
Oops.
pretty cool, though, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's in the upper echelon, or maybe not the upper echelon, but it's in the upper half of ballparks. That was number 14. 15 was supposed to be the White Sox on Wednesday. We flew into Chicago early. The rain and the snow kind of delayed, canceled that game until June. So we went to Wrigley that night, which we had tickets for anyway. Really fun experience. Reminded me of Fenway, but it was actually better than Fenway in my opinion. Really fun, cool ballpark, nice people.
Hmm.
I got complimented on my jersey. Kind of cool because I didn't own it until about a week ago. And it was a Jake Arrieta, and on the side it had the postseason patch, which is really cool. You
Ah,
don't see that on jerseys very often.
yeah.
I got it on eBay for like $20. And we got to see the World Series trophy from 2016. We got like first game certificates. The team store is really nice, very warm. Um, Tried a Wrigley dog, whole 9 yards.
A Wrigley dog.
And then Thursday we drove to St. Louis. 4.5, 5 hour drive, but the stadium's gorgeous. People are super nice too. I met a couple people. The one guy was talking wrestling with me for a brief minute.
Really?
So we told them we were from Philly. They were like, first opening day. We're like, first time here. They're like, really? Where are you from? Philly. And, like, and I was like, yeah, sorry for retiring Pujols, but he's older than he says. And we were like, oh yeah, so we're in Chicago. We're flying home for WrestleMania. The guy's like, oh, Cody Rowan. I was like, oh, fucking no. I gave him an answer, but people are very nice. Busch is a gorgeous stadium. I hopefully you saw the pictures. But Busch is a gorgeous stadium.
I don't think you sent them. Not for Bush. Maybe you
You
did.
can see the arch in the background.
Really?
There's buildings everywhere. It's gorgeous.
I gotta
Jake
hear.
Berger hit. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say, after you're done your stadium tour, I
Hmm.
gotta hear you would probably end the misses if she wants like your top, I guess, five ballparks to go and must go out and see. Like if you had the money,
Yeah.
go out of
Uh,
your way to find these.
so in terms of view,
Yeah, like view
that
wise,
that that one's one of the best ones.
because I know PNC you guys raved about it.
Yeah, she loves Oracle in San Francisco. PNC's gorgeous. It's also a great vibe there. They have like the old school Oregon and everything. Bush is one of the nicer views that you'll find. But did that one. Drove back to Chicago. Went to Cubs and Dodgers on Friday. We were in this. We were like the fifth row. This like fifth row down low.
Yeah,
Otani second home run as a Dodger. Cubs win on an amazing play at the end. They come back. Great game. What's his name? Bobby Miller. I think it was his birthday. He struck out the side in the first inning, and they got pulled in the second for giving up home runs left and right. It was a fun game. A lot of Dodgers fans. The guys in front of us were cool. The people next to us, except there was a weird guy behind me, like TikToking the whole game.
oh,
It's like, here comes Teoscar Hernandez. I really wanted him on my Yankees, but I guess he's not. He was like narrating the whole game. It's fucking annoying, dude. And I know I look like a dweeb when I go to these things. I take a lot of pictures and I try to get videos of certain things, and
sure.
but I don't sit there going, oh, I really like this guy. He's on my fantasy team. He had a 498 OPS in May. Like, no, but the guy behind me was fucking weird, and that we were both getting annoyed by it. But people were very cool. As soon as that game ended, jumped on the freeway, drove to Milwaukee,
Before you
and
get to
almost
Milwaukee,
almost fell asleep there. But
you went to the Cubs game with the Dodgers, correct?
correct, yeah.
How was the? There's no, for lack of a better word, how was the Asian turnout for the
The
Otani?
representation.
Yeah,
It was
representation.
pretty strong. There were a lot of people there that were Cubs fans that were, of Asian descent. They have Seiya Suzuki, who's really popular there. And then Imanaga, the pitcher, who I think might have pitched the next day. Also on paper, that was supposed to be Yamamoto's second star as a Dodger, but I
Mm-hmm.
think they pushed him back a day.
Damn.
But yeah, there was a pretty strong representation for the Asian community there. A lot of Dodgers fans in the stadium. It's hard to tell though. It would be like going to a Phillies Cardinals game because it's all the same color.
Yeah, see a
So
red.
if you look around, it's really difficult to see. But even the Dodgers fans, like we obviously we're not Cubs fans, but we were dressed in Cubs gear. The Dodgers fans were super nice. They were cool. I mean, there was no problems or anything like that. It's not like a Phillies Mets game or anything.
Oof.
But they were all pretty cool. A lot of Dodgers fans, Cubs fans obviously outnumbered them. But the first inning, Teoscar Hernandez I think had a 2-run double, and you could hear it. Like it sounded
Pop.
like yeah, yeah, yeah. The heels were the Dodgers were working heel that night, and the fans love heels now. But as soon as that game ended, we jumped on the freeway, got gas, went to Milwaukee, fell asleep at the game there. Not literally, but just very warm. It was really weird and just dead quiet. Wrigley's got a lower capacity, I believe, and Milwaukee was just there was nobody there. It felt
Unfortunately.
like I was at the only thing I can compare it to, and one of my coworkers even said something similar because she was the one that recommended going there from Chicago anyway. It felt like when I was younger and I played basketball, travel basketball, and we would play in like high school gyms at like 6 o'clock at night on like a Thursday, and the only fans were like our parents. So there's like 13 people there, and it's kind of dark and gloomy, and you can almost hear
That's
the
how it was.
lights. It's kind of how it felt in Milwaukee. We were also up top. We were in the 400 level or the 300 level, whatever. But it was pretty relatively crowded. But it was just weird. The dome was closed. They were setting off fireworks inside. It feels like a safety hazard. Like no lines anywhere. Good food. Bathrooms look like elementary school bathrooms though.
I believe the chicken tacos were a massive hit in the household, right?
Yeah, they were a massive hit in my nostrils later that night as well. Um,
That's wild.
oh no, they look too nice. I got it. What the hell did I get? I don't think I got anything special. The fries looked like pizza place fries. They were great. But yeah, fun little tour. Didn't get any. I don't like doing the signature food items because I don't want to pay $48 for like a brisket sandwich anywhere and wait in line for a half hour. But the I think Wrigley's ahead of Fenway for me, which might be a hot take for some people. But I thought the best one of all of them. I loved Seattle.
Yeah, it sounds like you like Seattle the most out of that
Yeah.
one.
Next up on the tour, I did post my Instagram pictures and stuff. I said I don't know where number 19 will be. Right. 19 looks like it's going to be Cincinnati. We're working out the details, but we might do that for Memorial Day weekend.
Oh,
Cincinnati, rent a car and drive to Cincinnati for Friday night, drive to Detroit for Saturday, and then drive back to Cincinnati and fly home. So we'll see. Take it. Flights to Detroit, by the way, were $30 on Spirit before picking your seat, which is crazy. I think I'm flying on a paper plane if that's the case, though.
Yeah, I mean, good luck. Best be God we yeah, can't even spit it out. God be with you. God be with you.
My house if I take that flight.
You know how to spell my name, just put me in the will. We'll be all right.
True.
All right.
Oh, by the way, 1L on the road trip.
Oh, baby, what happened?
Then we'll move on. We have 3 ballpark passports.
Oh no.
We have I have 2 of the big ones, the big brown ones. One for me, one for her, and then I have the game day one, which they're not in the office with me, but they're really cool if you're a nerd like us, or just want to do the stadiums or whatever. It's got a map of the stadiums. Each stadium has its own page.
Yeah.
You get it stamped at guest services or in the team store with the date that you go there, and then you can write the game information, the starting pitchers, etc., who played, whatever. And there's a little sticker on a diagram. You can put where you sat. If you're nerdy like us, it's fun. I love it. No problem. Seattle, we actually got the first stamp of the day at Seattle, the second game. I walked over to guest services and walked in. I was like, there it goes. Like, were we the first? He was like, yeah. I'm like, hell yeah. So St. Louis. I didn't, but I will. St. Louis. First stamp, upside down. Second stamp, upside down. Third stamp, right side up. All 3 of them wrong date.
No. St. Louis, the Midwest, baby. The
Yeah.
Midwest. Friendly, but
Incredible.
didn't know what the fuck they were doing with a stamp.
This is crazy. We're about to segue right into the wrestling thing. My one friend and I have just been talking wrestling for the last 3 days.
Yeah.
Out of the blue, he texted me first time since like 2 o'clock. Super Cena the GOAT? Yeah.
What?
He asked me if Super Cena is the GOAT.
Super Cena?
Yeah.
I have no idea what that is.
I guess that's Fruity Pebble Cena that just beat everybody for 10 years.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I remember Jort Cena when he was a bad guy in 2003 and a rapper.
That's my guy.
And now I know Bald Spot Cena, who blinds the upper deck.
Yeah, let's get into it. WrestleMania. And then I guess we do Punk afterwards?
Oh, yeah, we might as well do Punk at the end. Well, we can touch on Punk when we get to him, I guess.
I'm not
because he's in
Punk.
here.
He'll choke me up.
Well, I don't want to do it either. I mean, I'd rather get choked up by him than choked up by anybody else.
Hey, yo.
He took out the two young bucks. I guess he could take me out.
He took out Jack Perry.
Oh, by the way, actually, it'll make more sense later. But I did visit Mindy's, or we visited Mindy's.
Oh yes, you did.
Absolute gas. The best pastries I've ever had in my life.
Oh, and I didn't get any. I forgot.
I know. We brought them back, and then we forgot to pack them for the trip.
But then,
because you're allowed to bring them through TSA. We were going to bring them to the event, but I don't think you can bring them into the link.
Well, I made a game time decision after Mania, because I was like, I should just go to your place, get a good night's rest, and then eventually somewhere Sunday I'll head over to my buddy's place. Yeah. But I'm like, my buddy's place is literally like 5 minutes from here.
Yeah, it was in South Philly, right?
Yeah, and I was like, Point Breeze area.
You got out way before us. You got to that person's place as we were leaving the parking lot. That's how long it took for us.
Well, the thing is, you guys, as soon as you guys got into and we'll do the review, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
As soon as we got into the parking lot, you guys got in, turned the car off, and banked the left. I was like, dude, the car's not even warmed up or anything. She just gone. And
yeah, we were sitting in traffic forever.
I was sitting there for like damn near 40 minutes. Then I
it
decided
took
to
us
leave.
2 hours to get out of there. We got home at like 2 in the morning.
Oh, dude, I got there.
You got there way before us, right?
At 1. I think around 1.
What time was the NXT?
NXT the next.
Oh, you mean you got to your destination? You mean?
Yeah, my buddy's place.
Yeah, we got home around 2, so I guess we would have gotten out around the same time.
Well, the thing is, I made a game that decision because otherwise I would have been in that traffic with y'all.
Yeah, you would have just been right behind us.
I could have just went to my buddy's house at this point. But
yeah, you would have been kicking yourself.
Thank God, some guy was just tapping on someone's car, like the parking employee, and was pointing that they opened the Patterson.
Yeah.
And I said that, I was like, oh, hit a K-turn and got out. See ya. Got on Patterson, made around the Ubers that were parked on the right side, which was just blocking my way. Headed straight, made a right past the NovaClear complex, and then found my way up to Point Breeze, basically. Somewhere in like South Philly. And that was it. See ya! Basically.
Sorry. My cursor was like stuck on the screen for a second. I couldn't move it.
See ya. I thought you guys were already home and asleep. You're like,
no, I think you texted me by mistake saying you got to your boy's house. I was like,
it was on purpose.
Oh, was it? Okay, because literally as you did that is when we got on 95. It took forever, dude.
I was just letting you know that I'm home. I'm good.
Okay.
And then you guys just getting on. Oh shit.
Yeah, I so the next night, so you got there early for the NXT thing, so you beat all traffic in general. And my
Oh
buddy
yeah.
Jeff, who was there also, he said he got out of there immediately because he was just following somebody that was flooring it. He was probably behind you, and the because
Probably.
he said he got out of there, bing bang boom, in like 10 minutes. I'm like, how the fuck did you get out of there in
Oh,
ten
there's no
minutes? You just
shot.
drive on the grass?
Nah, I
Like
was there for
he must
45
have left.
minutes.
He must have left before like the final pin. And then the second night, it was determined that I was going to be the one that drove because she obviously had work, and we both had work Monday, but she had to be up earlier than me.
Right.
So that's fine. You could sleep in the car. If we're in traffic again, you can just, fall asleep, catch a little bit of rest. We, we got there, no problem. We got out of there, no problem either. We got out of there
What?
in 10 minutes. It was amazing. We got there early. I think we got there, what time the event starts? 7?
Yeah.
I think we got there around 5. We bought tickets pretty much, woke up at like 2 o'clock, took showers, watched Vivid Seats forever, finally got tickets for like $1.40 or whatever. We were in row 5 on like the 15-yard line, had a perfect view of the stage. Turns out row 5 is actually the first row of its set of rows because there's 4 rows and then there's like a little thing and then it's 5 and up. We were in the first row in our little area. We weren't sitting up there with Dusty, which I guess the seats were probably more expensive to sit with Dusty all night too. But
All right. For
we
the
got
story.
out of there probably in 15 minutes.
And
But
it
we
was more
also
beautiful.
strategically put. I'm sorry.
And it was more nice outside.
Yeah, it was 15 degrees warmer, and we so it also, in fairness, we parked. I strategically parked closer to where the exit was, as opposed to parking deeper in where we kind of were the first night.
Yeah. That
So
makes
once we
sense.
got in the car, we were just like turned on, just get in this line, and then we got out, made a left, made a right, got around, went around, and got on 76 home. So
I mean, oh, here's another thing, and we'll go into the review. I promise.
yes,
You've been to all these ballparks across the country.
I've been waiting. I had a feeling this was going to come up, and I'm excited to answer this.
Is there what better experience is it than the Phillies parking?
Oh, okay.
Sorry to disappoint.
No, it's fine. The
The
other
parking
question I
system
thought
because
was,
the concourse you got Lincoln Financial Field, Citizens Bank Park, and the Wells Fargo Center,
yeah,
all next to each other, separated by parking lots. You can literally walk to each of them.
yeah.
How
You can literally
convenient is
park
that?
in each other's lots too.
Yeah, which is even better.
Yeah, which is very
There's no
convenient.
overflow parking. It's just literally just park wherever, and then you can
Yeah, it's
make your
park wherever
business.
you want, and basically, if you don't mind walking a little bit.
All right. Out of all the ballparks, is that like the best setup? I mean, it's probably death at some point, like Saturday night, but for the most
Yeah,
part, it's
that's a
pretty
great
nice.
question. I've thought about this a little bit because I've been doing that nerdy ballpark grading thing,
Mm-hmm.
and parking is on there. So the Mets have a great setup because their lots are so big.
Yeah, that was pretty
We
cool.
got in and out of there in almost no time. Um, so let's just go down the list. So Yankees, there are no really like nearby lots. Oh, the Yankees parking for me the last time we went was very easy. We parked at Bronx Terminal, walked 5 minutes to the stadium, got out no problem. It's like $30, which is about what you would pay at the stadium anyway, or probably twice that at their stadium. City Field's pretty easy. What was number 4? Baltimore's pretty easy. Oh, Baltimore's kind of similar because M&T Bank Stadium is
Really?
right. It's walking distance from Camden Yards. It's you got to walk like on a bridge thing,
Uh,
but theirs is similar to us. Not as many lots because they don't have like a basketball team or anything, but
sure.
similar thing. Washington, we parked like underneath the highway. Pittsburgh, kind of a pain in the ass.
Well,
Cleveland,
what was you?
Cleveland was pretty easy, but they're near Quicken Loans or whatever the
Oh,
basketball one
Celtics.
is.
I mean, the Cavs.
Yeah, the Cavs, they're right next door. You can see it from left field.
That's pretty cool.
I'm sorry, you were gonna say something?
Now, I was gonna say, um, what did you think I was gonna say? 'Cause you say you were waiting for this.
I thought you were gonna ask me how WrestleMania compared to other sporting events,
That too. I mean,
which is on here, and I want to get to that
yeah,
later
we'll get to
too.
that.
Thinking San Francisco parking is a nightmare. We luckily were at a hotel literally right down the street from it. Dodger Stadium is an absolute nightmare. Um, we were in line to get out forever, and the line on the far side got so much lighter that we just got out of the line. We were able to cut all the way across and got out, no problem.
Let me guess.
Uh,
Was Oakland? Did you park in the employees' lot, like right next to the stadium?
we just parked in the dugout. Um, who else was it? The Angel Stadium's huge, a massive parking lots, but there's nothing else nearby. You can see where the Ducks play, but it's
Yeah.
kind of across a highway, so they don't really share an area.
You said Petco was
Um,
a nightmare, right?
Echo parking was easy, but walking around the
Mm.
concourse is a pain in the nuts. And also their bag policy was the only one different from everybody else last year. So we had that one bag that we brought to every game.
Yeah.
That was the only stadium we couldn't use it at. They said you got to go get a locker. I'm like, fuck you mean I got to get a locker? This is ridiculous. And then the Coliseum has a decent amount of parking, but it's not near anything else. I think really Philly, Baltimore, Cleveland are the only ones that we've been to where there's also the basketball is right there too, or the football is right there too.
It's
I
so
think you,
convenient.
yeah, I think Giha, whatever it's called now, Arrowhead is close to where the
Kansas City.
Royals play.
Hmm.
I don't know if they share parking lots, but that's relatively close. I'm trying to think of who else is on the list. Detroit, I don't think. Oh, Detroit, I think they do have the football and the baseball near each other.
Really, Ford Field?
I don't know where Little Caesars is compared to theirs, like where the Red Wings play. Chicago, they don't really have anything. The White Sox are about 15 minutes away from Soldier Field, but they don't share lots or anything. 15 walking. It was like 2 minutes driving, but trying to think of who else. Seattle. The Mariners were kind of where the Phillies kind of are, where they're on like the border, and then the Kraken play near the Needle, which I guess for us would be like near Center City. So they're not close.
Seahawks are far away then, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. The Seahawks are literally right next to the what's it called? The Mariners.
Oh, really?
The first day we actually walked through their parking lot. You can actually see into the stadium. It's really cool.
That's not bad. It's one of the
I'm
stadiums
sorry,
I
I
would
forgot
love
all
to go.
about that. I skipped over Seattle in my brain.
I That's one of the few football stadiums that I want to go to.
Oh, it looks
Seattle's just gotta
nice.
be an absolute gorgeous and loud
It,
environment.
yeah, it's got to be. It looked really. You can see it from left field, where we were as well.
I might do Seattle next time. I might just
Seattle's awesome.
I might just go to see a Seahawks game.
Yeah, the
Preferably
problem
with
is
the Eagles.
if you order delivery, there's like a fucking 15% like mandatory fee.
Yeah, it's so
It's like
Seattle, bro.
mandatory tipping. Yeah, 10% sales tax, like 15% mandatory fee for the driver. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's wild. All right, should we get into WrestleMania weekend review?
Have to start rating airports going forward too. Newark
Jesus.
Airport, not bad.
I can't wait till you go to Atlanta and tell me how death that is. Atlanta
Yeah,
is
let's
just
get right
absolute
into it.
trash.
Let's get into Mania. The uh the
WrestleMania.
the cast and crew were at night one.
Yes.
The whole group. We were luckily secluded from the rest of the group. But you were right. You were caught in the crosshairs of my 20-minute conversation about baseball with the dude next to you that I'd
Oh,
never met
dude,
before.
it was so uncomfortable at one point. I was like,
Oh, was
man,
it?
cause I'm like, should I just leave? Should I just like swap? Cause your
Yeah, I
wife,
didn't realize it was. I didn't know it was going to go on that long.
I kept looking over. Your wife is just like bored out of her mind, looking at the phone.
Well, it was like
You're
an
like
hour before the
entertained.
stupid event.
You were
Yeah, it was
like,
great.
he was entertained too, and I was just like, all right, I
I think it
gotta
was
get out
also
of here.
hammered.
Yeah, nah, he was starting to get hammered, but at
Yeah,
the
he
end
was
of the
starting
night,
to get hammered.
he had a funny moment at the end of the night.
With The Rock, or
No, or he asked you if you had kids. I don't know if you remember. He asked you if you had kids for some reason, and out of nowhere, you were like, "No." And then his buddy, who ultimately ended up sitting with us for
yeah,
the
the
rest of
buddy
the
was
night,
cooler. I thought the buddy was
he
cooler.
was like, "Did you just ask him if he had kids?" You just basically roasted him. Within 5 minutes, they switched seats, and then he
Yeah, the other
never
guy was
came
cooler.
by. Yeah, he was cooler.
I think the other guy thought he was interrupting like family time between all of us because he was talking to me. So I
No,
think he felt bad.
he thought he was interrupting quality time with you and your wife
Nah, well,
because she was just there, and you kept going back. Like, are you good? You okay?
I thought she was talking to the people. I thought she was talking to the redacteds. I didn't realize she was just chilling. But that was also like an hour before the event started. I thought that there was a pre-show,
But
like there was like
also,
dark matches or something.
it was cold as hell. So you were checking
Yeah, it
up
was
on your
terrible.
wife, who was just dying
Yeah.
there.
Oh yeah, every couple seconds I was turning around to make sure she was
So
all right.
he would think that you were like making sure she was good, and I was just trying to be like, no, she's just cold, and he's just checking up. I
Yeah.
was trying to be the peacemaker at the end of the night.
There is a video that I have of right before they introduced The Rock, and I stopped the video and re-recorded it. It was like when the Lillian, not Lillian, what the fuck's her name
Samantha Irvin.
now? Samantha. Yeah, I was gonna say Lillian Garcia. That was the old one, right, Lillian?
Yeah,
Okay, I thought so.
back
I
in our
think that
day.
was a weird Freudian. Before Howard Finkel introduced the competitors, I start recording, and the dude just goes, "We're booing the shit out of The Rock, right?" I'm like, started dying, and
That's awesome.
shout out to Philadelphia, 'cause that's what happened.
Oh man, Philly, I love Philly. It's awesome.
That was great. We got roasted on Twitter for how bad the crowd was. The first night we're like, bro, it's like 45 with a 10-degree wind chill, and then the second night we were red hot.
And you're up there with
Crowds.
Dusty and Benoit and Guerrero. So
Yeah, Benoit definitely all the way up there. Definitely not underneath the ring.
oh my god, it was
Harambe was up with us, but yeah, I guess we might as well get right into it. So night one was the night you were able to experience. We were initially going to go to both. Then we kind of got soured on it. Then we just decided to do it night two. But I have night one results
Well,
right here.
I was always going to go to night one because I had the NXT tickets
Yeah.
earlier that day.
That was
So
the one you favored. Yeah.
My plan was there. Night two, if it felt right, I'd do it. But the thing is, my bank account, how that was working out, and I was like, you know what? I'm cool. I'll just do night one and then watch night two with the commentary. 'Cause that's the one thing you miss when you're live at a live sporting event. Is how good the commentary is.
I put that in my notes for a few things here.
Okay. So yeah,
the one match that there was only one match that really needed commentary. Well, two of them, I guess. That one needed a shotgun to the skull, but the Sami Zayn match versus Gunther, and then the second night the Punk match, I was like, these are the only two I really want to hear commentary for. I don't really give a shit what they have to say. I like the commentary crew they had. I thought they were great.
That could be awesome.
We watched the night two. We actually watched it backwards. We did night two on Tuesday, and then we watched night one last night. I fell asleep in the main event of night one, so because it was fucking an hour long. But the commentary I thought did a really good job. What's that?
Oh yeah, they did. I haven't watched night two yet. I'm gonna watch it probably after this.
I was more excited to watch night two.
I watched night two because you were there. So you don't...
Oh yeah, true. You saw night two.
I saw it, but the thing is, I was so tired from the night before, and we stayed up till 5 a.m.
And you're also hanging with people, so there's a dialogue between you guys. So you're not paying attention to the details of the broadcast necessarily.
We were,
right?
but we were so fried out of our minds because we were just like up for like the past 2 nights too, just playing 2K GM mode.
Oh, that game looks amazing, by the way.
Dude, I'm addicted to that game. But yeah, we were fried, so I'm like watching it half awake. So I had to go back and watch the Sami Zayn one today. No, was it today? No, yesterday. What was night two?
Night
one was Gunther, right?
Sami was night one, yeah.
So I had to go back and watch that because obviously we were in the stands, but also I just didn't really care much for the fucking show.
You couldn't hear the backstage stuff when we were in the stadium. That's another thing. Heyman did an interview night two that you could hear in the stadium just because it was at the perfect time. It was dark. They were sneaking the Undertaker into the ring or whatever, and there weren't ads and stuff, and people after every match people were getting popcorn and stuff. So
right.
But night one, it starts with a bang,
a tremendous bang.
Yeah, fake Lita loses to China. I put this backwards. No, fake Lita loses to China.
Fake Lita loses to China. That's crazy.
So Becky Lynch came out with her book taped to her costume.
You called it from way up there. I had no idea what you were talking about. You're like, yeah, he has her book taped to her butt.
It was like all of her pages were like part of her suit, which I thought was kind of cool. But
it wasn't until I had to rewatch it to realize what you were talking about the next day. I'm like, oh. Yeah,
there was no sponsor for the match because it was taped to one of the competitors.
Right, that's true.
And Rhea came out with her with the actual band. I forget the name of the band, but they're from Motionless in White. You put them. Thank you. They're from Scranton, which I didn't know. Another thing, commentary when we rewatched that they mentioned that. So
I knew they were from Pennsylvania. I just didn't know what part. I thought it was Philly, honestly.
Well, they are from quote unquote Philly since they're from Scranton.
Yeah, true.
Just like everybody else out there.
Right.
But yeah, good. 17 minutes and 5 seconds. I thought they probably could have gotten more time too, because they did a really good job.
Very good. They told a good story. I mean,
crowd got into it.
Very into it. At some
point, 3 or 4.
I thought it was a lot of near falls. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, I was gonna say 3 or 4 like big spots that could have ended.
Right.
The end was kind of flat because the finishers into turnbuckles never look good unless you're Sammy.
Right.
But Rhea did the whatever her move is called into the turnbuckles. That looks awful. And then she barely got Becky up for the final move.
Right.
And it kind of looked like one of those test pump handle slams where it kind of just falls on you, or a road dog where it just kind of falls on you.
True.
So a little bit of a flat ending, but the fans wanted her to win badly because the place went nuts for her.
Oh, I did for sure. And all this, mind you.
Yeah, Michael Cole's fucking Glenn the Hurricane here. You think this was taking place in an igloo, by the way, the whole night. Guys, it's really cold. My hands are cold.
That was the most disturbing thing when I watched back through night one. I'm like, just shut up about the cold. He's like, I'm from Texas. Shut the fuck up.
Then he's got a hat on. Graves has like football gloves on.
McAfee has a dress shirt with the fucking buttons open.
I'm surprised it's cold because McAfee was wearing sleeves.
That is true.
You couldn't tell it. But AJ Hawk was on commentary as well. It's just he was doing his normal thing where he doesn't talk. He just sits there and stares.
So the dead air was him basically.
Yeah, it was actually him talking.
Um, all
But good
this,
opener. I thought this was the appropriate opener, unless they were going to open with. I thought the Usos could have opened, but the match that they had should not have opened. So that should have been a dark match. But I thought there was a chance they might be the opener. But I like that they showcased the championship at the beginning of both nights. I thought that was because if you do that with the girls and you don't do it with the guys, it lessens the significance of the girls,
true.
in my opinion. Which I thought that was a more important story than the one that Rollins and what's his name was telling anyway.
And here's another little kudo, and this is a spoiler for anybody who hasn't watched WrestleMania. Um, Becky married to Seth, if you didn't know. Becky opens night 1 for a title shot. Seth opens night 2 defending his title. Both lose.
Seth was in 4 segments. He was in the beginning of, so he ended night 1, started at 3. He was in the end of night 1, the beginning of night 2, and then the end of night 2. So that family just bookended the whole show, and they did a great job, both of them putting over younger talent.
For sure.
Well, I guess older talent.
Honestly. But this was probably the second best match, and we'll probably move a little bit quicker than this for the
review. Yeah, just we're taking a little bit more time because most of the first night sucked.
Because it was such a good event. It was if you you're a wrestling fan, if you can, try to go to
even
a WrestleMania.
Even if you're not, just fucking watch it.
Everyone's friendly. There's no bullshit going around. Everyone's there to have a good time.
We saw Kane.
Stone Cold. You saw Stone Cold with the vest, bald head, and no shirt under.
Did I send you the picture of the fat Samoan guy in the parking lot night too? And I said the Rock's here.
No, you didn't.
Oh my god.
But yeah, this match was the second best match of the night, in my opinion.
I agree.
With Becky, and they made this a point on commentary. That's one thing we missed out. She was sick with 102-degree fever and strep throat throughout the week.
Yeah.
And she wrestled in that cold weather, 17 minutes, great class. And then Rhea, at Gorilla, had a panic attack, but you wouldn't know it when she came out and basically was singing along with the lead singer of Motionless in White.
For those listening, Gorilla is the is right before you walk out. Yeah, Gorilla's the guy that got shot. Gorilla's like right before you walk through the stage. Like I think they call it Gorilla because that's where Gorilla Monsoon used to sit.
Really?
And when he was like the booker, he would be on the microphone and talk to the referee and stuff. But I think that's why it's called that. But that's where right before you enter the stage.
Yeah. So if you saw the Sami Zayn thing before it goes to the curtain.
Exactly. I was gonna say with the new production, you're seeing guys walk through that area more. So which is really cool.
I love that.
Me too. I love it too. But I'm glad we didn't see Bruce Pritchard there.
But less is more. I'm seeing it on every show. They do that. Like, give me this pull.
Great point. But I think that what they're doing is they're doing the sports thing with the continuous camera shots, which I love. I love the way they're presenting it. I love the smaller stages because it makes it feel like a sporting event.
Real quick.
Yes, go ahead.
Do you remember on Raw, Philly in Raw? There was a segment where Rhea got jumped by Liv Morgan.
Yes.
I'm in the crowd. I'm watching it on the TV, and then Dom's like, "Get out of here!" and he pushes it.
Amazing.
And then the camera goes, but then it just goes to the letters Raw, and I'm like, "What the fuck was that?" But where I was sitting, I can see the camera going through the crowd past Samantha Irving on. I'm like, "This has to be a continuous shot," but they're not giving it to us. Was it
gorgeous?
Great? Love it.
It was beautiful on TV. Did you not see the clip yet?
No, because
it's absolutely beautiful. Yeah,
it just cuts off to the Raw logo, and I'm like, this is gay. What happened? Because everybody was confused. That's the one thing Triple H needs to do. He needs to have that continuous shot.
They don't give you the shot?
No, they don't. They just, as soon as he's like, "Get out of here," and he starts walking, it pans to the logo of Raw. And you're like, everyone around was like, "What was that about?" And then I see him going down. I'm like,
on TV, the camera guy walked through the tunnel into the arena. It looked amazing. Flyers back ahead. By the way, Austin Matthews has 68 goals. He has 2 games to get to 70. I don't think there's been a 70-goal scorer since the 90s.
It's doable. Lock it in.
Yeah, let's do it. But yeah, that was a great match.
Great match.
If you just look on Twitter, people are raving about that camera shot you're talking about.
I gotta look at it. I was watching, but it's not on. How long does it take to watch?
I think it's a month.
Oh, gay.
Yeah, it's kind of silly. Hopefully, when they go to Netflix, it's sooner. I think it has to do with TV rights and stuff. Also, for what it's worth, Prime was on the mat, the ring mat. Did you notice that when they were at the high camera shots between segments, they rolled a tarp onto the ring to block the Prime logo? I think that's for future when Prime's no longer associated with them, so that they can use those shots without blurring it.
Oh.
Or they can hyper, like whatever the word is, like superimpose a logo, kind of like they do in the NHL on the boards.
Interesting.
Second match, we get the six-way tag ladder match. Two nothing Phillies. So it's PO2P right now.
The second match, it was Austin Theory and Grayson Waller of A-Town Down Under, which is a wild name that they have.
Horrible name.
They won the SmackDown titles, and The Miz and R-Truth, aka Awesome Truth, won the Raw tag team titles, defeating.
I called this to a T before the show, by the way.
You did.
I'm a mark.
I knew Awesome Truth was going to win. I thought DIY was going to win, but
I love that they kept putting emphasis on the match is not over till both sets come down, and I like that they had them hanging separately because it was a dead giveaway. Two teams were going to win.
Right.
I thought that
your wife didn't understand it. I'm like,
it was hard to see from where we were, also because you couldn't see the belts.
Yeah, that's true. But I was trying to explain to her historically in the past 2 years,
it's
they
ridiculous.
link them together. But this is the first time they have them separate, so there's definitely going to be two teams that have a title for each brand.
It's a weird concept to introduce. It's like saying the Rangers are both the NHL and the MLB champions, and it's weird because why would anybody have two belts? And it was stupid that they had one set of belts, especially when they split the brands last year. They should have done something where they drafted one champion to one brand and the other one to the other, and then they got new partners or some shit. I don't know.
That's Vince right there.
Yeah,
but nevertheless, they defeated Finn Balor and the bisexual Undertaker, as you have here, of the Judgment Day, aka former champs.
What a glow up over 24 hours for that guy.
From you. I knew he was cool. He was a beast, but
I liked him when I first saw him, and then I hated him because he couldn't talk. And now he sounds like a regular dude. He sounds amazing.
Yeah, and he's dating
Brandon Mars, baby.
And he's rumored to be dating Rusev's ex-wife, Lana.
Lana, really? So he's not gay?
Oh no! When they were in Puerto Rico, there was pictures of them at the beach, and I was like,
"Oh, really?"
My eyes were perking. I'm like, "Are they friends?"
58 years old, isn't he? He's the first Puerto Rican. He's the first Puerto Rican champ in WWE since main champ since Pedro Morales.
It could have been Carlito, but they never gave him a shot.
Should have been Carlito. I mean, it's good they didn't give it to Ray. I guess was technically a champ, but
he's Mexican, no?
I did. Oh, that's true. I'm sorry.
All Hispanics are not the same.
I thought. I guess there have been Hispanic champions since.
Yeah, there have been. Eddie.
Oh, Yeah, Eddie was Mexican.
Let's go home. Turn it off. It's over.
Eddie.
You're fried.
Chavo was the ECW champ.
Raquel.
Well, Chavo was a white guy. Chavo was white. Was he Carmen White?
I don't know.
There were Hispanic champions. You're right. First Puerto Rican champ since Pedro Morales. By the way, Easter egg when we get to the next night because I noticed something that other people didn't.
For the next night?
Yes.
All right, I got you. They defeated the champs, and then also DIY's Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, aka, if you're talking the truth, DX.
I love their current work. They're fantastic.
They're great. Two. You got to watch them in NXT. The New Day's Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods.
Also great.
Huh?
Also great. Sorry, I was just complimenting. Also great. Both of them.
Yeah,
love them both. I miss Big E. Big E was on the pre-show. He got a big chant. I thought that was cool.
I think he's going to be done. Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, New Catch Republic, a new team making their WrestleMania debut as a unit. Pete Dunne has been in WrestleMania.
They look like AEW.
They're good.
Guys.
They're technically good, but they're not ready for, obviously,
They look like the fucking AEW main event or something. I don't know.
Right. And this match went on for 17 minutes and 25 seconds.
Did not feel like it. I like that they had the one team win early in the match.
It felt so abrupt, right?
I like that though. I like when matches end abruptly. I wish more TV matches ended with random moves in 10 minutes, like 5 minutes in, instead of having 12 false finishes. I love that they got the belts down because then it set up that ladder spot where the dude went through the ladder because he was then dead for the rest of the match.
Yeah, he was dead.
Congrats, you're winning a title, but you're also going to die.
Right.
Another thing I was going to say, just off topic, but Kruk is a huge wrestling fan.
Yeah.
And last Tuesday night before we left, Kofi Kingston, Braun Strowman, and
Charlotte was there,
different. Liv Morgan was at the Phillies game, and Kofi was in the booth, and Kruk was like, "I miss Big E," and Kofi's like, "Yeah, he's doing well." So I thought that was kind of cool. And what's his name was at the Sixers game. I think Xavier Woods was at the Sixers game that same night. So they were all making the rounds.
Charlotte was there as well. She was in the Phillies. I don't think she was on commentary, but she was there as well. There's a photo of them all together.
Yeah, it's kind of cool when they do that. It was a terrible night for them to go, but I think that was the Harper 3 home run game.
That's a great night.
It was miserable at the park, yeah. A couple takeaways. First of all, I love that the first set of belts came down so fast.
Right.
And I love that there was logic. They went up and tried to get the other ones. Logic, my friend.
Right.
Gay Undertaker climbing the broken ladder was funny because Miz almost literally died because he tried to climb the other side and it like caved in.
They mentioned that on commentary too.
Yeah, McAfee was like, "Bro, that's broken," and you can see the referee's like, "Yo, what the fuck, get the other one," and then Gay Taker threw the ladder out of the ring, eliminated it from the Royal Rumble.
Right.
The hot tag to Truth was amazing.
That was sensational.
He gave somebody the FU, didn't he?
Balor.
He gave Balor the FU, and then he gave what's his name the FU over the top rope.
Priest.
Yeah, Priest.
Yeah.
The whole match was so well done, and even though you see it more in person, kind of like the Royal Rumble where there's two guys doing stuff and everybody else is just like, "Oh, fuck you," in the corner or like sleeping. There wasn't as much dead time as I thought. Whoever structured this and put it together, I thought did a really good job. It was like, high spot. You guys are still over here. The camera's going to be jumping back and forth. I thought they did a good job presenting it. There we go. 5-0. Stott home run. All three daycare members hit home runs tonight.
Castellanos, disappointment of the year.
R.I.P.
Jesus Christ. What else?
JD McDonough going through the table. I thought it was fun that he came out because I got the crowd so into it, and then he went through the table. That was a really acrobatic move by him because that ladder, New Day was like picking the ladder up, and I think he did like 90% of the work jumping off of it.
Yeah, and fell right through the one table.
Oh man, that looked ugly.
The table,
his head hit the other table.
Yeah, he was out of it.
Oof.
He takes great spots, man. He took the RKO off the top of the cage with Randy Orton the one time.
Yeah.
He's
earning my respect. I've done a full 180 on this whole group.
And
although I always liked Dom because I thought he was the best heel they have in the entire company.
He is.
But the other ones, I was like, Balor I like too, but I was like, this gay Undertaker guy, he fucking sucks. And Rhea, I was like, she can't talk. And then the other guy was like, his head's too big. But they're all
good.
I'm cool. Yeah, I'm fine with them all. It's easy to see why freaking Edge picked them all.
Right. And the last bit for this match, Woods dressed up like Apollo Creed, but I don't know if you noticed, Kofi dressed up as Rocky.
As Rocky, yeah, with the yellow and the black, right?
From Rocky 2. Good homage for both of them. They always do that.
I love that.
They do that for every wrestler.
I noticed nothing in the first match, but Waller and his tag team. Waller in Theory had white and green for the Eagles. Later on, Andrade had green on. Ray had green on. Yeah. Obviously, the two luchadors that came out of the crowd had green on.
Right. As McAfee said, if you look closely, that's a beard, and that is not a luchador. That is two.
These look like legends.
Legends.
Gargano and Ciampa had a little bit of green on too. I think they were mainly going for the DX green, but they did have green. I thought it was cool that they leaned into the
Eagle.
So a couple of different things. So the set looked a lot like WrestleMania 2000, which was green.
Yes.
Triple H's main color green. Philly green. A lot of green going on here.
DX green.
Appreciate it all. Yeah.
I like it a lot.
But I thought it was a good match. And people probably have high expectations for these types of matches because of the two TLC matches, but this I thought delivered, and it got the crowd back into it. Truth is incredibly popular.
He's so over, and he got his first WrestleMania moment and win ever.
Amazing.
I couldn't believe it. Awesome stuff.
Yep.
All right, as you alluded to, Rey Mysterio and Andrade.
This fucking tag team partner who I'm ready to strap the rocket onto and give him the championship.
Oh, Andrade.
Andrade's amazing.
I can't wait till you get to eventually see some NXT work.
Dude, his finishing move is so cool.
It's so deadly. Yeah,
is that not the coolest fucking move on the planet? It's like a DDT, but it turns into like 3 tornado twists. He's great. His look is amazing too.
He's great. So as you alluded to here, Rey Mysterio and Andrade with 7 other people defeated Dominic Mysterio, Santos Escobar, and another 7 other people in the
it was like international gang warfare. I don't even know what's going on here.
Plus 2 luchadors at the end.
Yes, 2 big ass luchadors. I love that. So Corey Graves is great. Because they jump over the thing and go, security.
Yeah, he's great.
He's the only one that keeps realism in this damn thing.
Well, that's what you need, right?
Yeah,
what is this? Oh,
he's fantastic. He is the only. I don't want to say only because I think Wade Barrett's really good too, but I think he's the best at mixing. Cole too, to an extent, but Graves does a really good job at mixing realistic things into his commentary.
He does pop culture references as well.
Yeah, he does a good job.
We'll get into tonight too, but he made a funny comment during Drew's entrance. We'll
oh my god, Punk made like 6 during Rollins' entrance.
Oh, did he? I didn't catch it.
Yeah, oh my god,
I have to go listen back. This was the first sponsored match of the night. And
racist. It was a Casamigos tequila or some shit, right?
It was Agua Fresca which is Minute Maid, which is pretty good. It's a juice basically. It's not even
Yeah,
a
it's
drink.
juice. Yeah, it's just a juice.
Did you know their logo? I don't know if this is their logo, but Cole said it. He said it is refreshing AF, and I was like, oh, Cole's a little cursing here, but the AF is agua fresca. So
Oh
I don't know
no,
if.
I didn't realize that.
And McAfee was like, oh, I see what you did there. Very clever, Cole. And I'm like, did Cole come up with that, or is it that's the sponsor?
Yeah,
Agua
that caught me
fresca.
a little off guard because I
It's
watched that
refreshing
last
AF.
night. We watched night one last night. I was really interested in this match because I was like I didn't really see much of it at the time, and it's hard to see some of the flips and stuff down. Andrade is so smooth. Holy shit.
Dude, I
And
didn't.
this other guy, the Santos Escobar, I thought he was like a reliever for the Yankees, but Santos Escobar he's also really smooth. And Dom is so good.
Dude,
I,
Santos
he
Escobar, he when he first started, he did like a cruiserweight tournament. He had a mask on in NXT. He went through the tournament. The moment he won it, it was against two baby faces, him and another baby face. He turned heel the night he won, took off the mask, and just automatically I was like, I like this guy. It's not a
yeah,
luchador that's gonna be like Rey Mysterio. No,
flippy and all. Yeah,
he had it on, and to the very end, he reveals his
that's
face.
great.
He can speak on the mic, has a faction. He
Yeah,
is great.
he looks great. I just see the meme all the time with Carlito blaming him for things.
Yeah,
I thought for sure Carlito was turning in this match.
oh, same, 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 same,
Because
same.
Carlito is not built to be a face. He's one of the few guys that should never be a face.
Dude, there's
No
two.
apple spot. What the fuck?
That's one thing that I forgot as well. But
We
there's
got
two spots.
we got three missed spots. We got Asuka missing her teammate. We got Seth Rollins spitting Prime on the Rock and Rock spitting water on Seth. We couldn't get an apple.
We couldn't get Triple H even doing this bit. Come on now, you're out
Well,
there,
yeah, I
brother.
think that might elevate his pacemaker. Unfortunately,
Uh,
I was worried because he was walking down that ramp awfully fast. I was like, ooh, I've heard that if he does anything strenuous, it could be a problem. I was pissed we didn't get the water spot because the music hit and I'm like, he's in the ring already. It's doing that little 5-10 second thing in the song.
right. But I was gonna say, from where we were sitting and because of the angle, we didn't get to see the double cross body, which was so good and perfected
No,
by
fantastic.
Andrade and Ray.
That was
Tremendous
great.
spot.
That was really, really creative. I've never seen that before.
Same. But then the other one I did see on NXT before is one of
Is that the
uh,
slingshot thing they
the
did?
slingshot off the rope. I told you in real time, watch out, this is gonna be nice. And they
It was hard to tell from the depth, but oh my god,
when you see it on TV, it's just insane.
holy shit! That dude got like 10 feet in the air.
I think he said 15 yards. McAfee. He went
Yeah, well,
15
McAfee also was like, it's hard to punt in these conditions. Like, shut the fuck up, dude.
He's great, but he
He is
keeps it
great.
real as well.
Their commentary right now has been amazing on every show.
And kudos to you. And we'll move on. You called it off the rip. Lane Johnson
Oh,
and
I
Kelsey.
thought it was the Kelseys. I
You
didn't realize it
freaked
was
out.
Lane.
Well, you freaked out. You knew it. I was like, I don't know. I don't think so. This
No,
can't be.
I know the Kelsey beard when I see it because I've watched their podcast numerous times. And I know that they reached out to him about being in the match. I was like, those guys are huge. I thought initially it was Buddy Matthews, but he didn't have any
That's what I
tattoos.
thought. I was like,
Yeah.
dude, no shot.
Yeah, I didn't see any tattoos. I was like, well, who would he be with? You can't bring Aleister Black with him.
Oh,
So,
he's fully tatted.
yeah, and I was like, that can't be him. And I thought it was the two Kelseys. It was even better with Lane. Although Lane's active, so I was like, this is kind of weird. Although he didn't really do anything, he just threw the guy in the ring.
And I saw the free shots of Kelsey
Was it
ripping off
Dom-
his shirt like Hogan, flexing in
Yeah.
the ring, and then on the ropes. Kelsey's great, dude.
Kelsey slingshotted over. He jumped over the ropes in Timbs that were not tied and jeans.
Dad jeans too.
Yeah. Yeah, he's wearing the '01 post-divorce, like dating Sarah Taker, those blue jeans he used to wear. Also, a Big Dom T-shirt on, I believe, Lane.
Yeah.
Thought that was cool. Nice little touch. Kelsey had, I think, something that said underdogs on it. So, the masks were really cool. They should have sold those masks
I don't know what
at
they did.
well, they kept theirs, but they should have sold those at the arena. The green WrestleMania mask looked like the Eagles mask.
That would have been
How
awesome.
great was that?
Yeah, that's someone misstepped on that one.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, the next match, the snooze
That
one.
that by the way, that went 11 minutes. It felt like it
Oh,
could have
yeah.
gotten 10 more.
Yeah, 11 minutes.
But Mysterio. By the way, Dom's too big to do the 619. I saw it doing on TV before. He's too tall for it.
Yeah.
It works because Ray's tiny.
Yeah, he goes in slow motion as well when he does it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they both do now, but I
All
thought
right.
for one last time, especially because Cody had the EVP ramp coming up, I thought one last time we should have seen Ray jump up.
Right.
But I understand that's toxic to his knees. So
Yeah. You don't want him blowing out an ACL.
yeah,
before he
good
goes
move
back.
by the way, replacing Ultima or whatever the fuck the guy. Who's the guy that looks like Ultima Dragon? Dragon Lee.
Dragon Lee.
They replaced him with Andrade, which I thought made sense.
Yeah, I was confused when they switched him. I was like, I don't know why Dragon
Yeah,
Lee's here. I thought
yeah, it
Carlito should
just
have
looks
taken the
like
spot, but
yeah,
Andrade
Carl.
taking
It
it.
should have been a 6-man. Honestly, it should have been a fucking 10-man with how many people were there. But
Right.
they could have easily made it like a. But I'm not a big fan of mixed tag, especially because it's not believable. But I thought for sure they should have done it. I mean, 2-on-2 is ideal, especially with how many multi-man matches they had, multi-women matches they had. But
Right.
6-man could have made sense because Carlito's over, and they could have just pulled one of the other. Buddy Matthew, whoever the fuck was on the ringside with the other team, could have gone in.
All right. We can spend maybe 30 seconds on this match. It was 11 minutes long. It was the Usos match.
It's a super kick on a pole match.
As you perfectively, you were a big hit in our section.
Yes,
Up
even the
there.
people in front of us thought it was funny, and they were old.
I let you take the reins.
No, it's funnier when people give me credit.
No, I was gonna say, what did you call it? Well,
Yes,
this match was so boring that
it was so
I
bad.
started it off and then you finished it, which is a good combo here. Like I teed it up for you, you just crushed it. I basically started off as like, yo, they're super kicking. We might as well just put it over under. I hit the over under at 20 and a half.
You almost nailed it, yeah.
And then the guy on my left was like, no way, 20? Let's go with 5.5. And then you were like,
So you
yeah,
had 5 in the
definitely.
first minute.
You said definitely the over. We had 5 in the first 30 seconds, and I'm like, and then we lost track because we were laughing so much
The people in front of us were keeping track, though.
because they listened to us because we were like, what's going on? And they're like, 17. They
Yeah,
even
they
had
were
the
like,
exact
oh,
score.
it's 10-6. Yeah, I think it ended 10-7, Jimmy.
And then you said one of the greatest lines probably ever that I've heard in person. This match should have been what would have made this match more interesting is a DUI on a pole match where the winner gets a big slip.
Yeah, winner gets their license back, and the
dude,
loser has to drive
on my
home.
left was dying, hysterical. He told all his buddies he was just dying, and then he said, "You said it again." It was even funnier. As the super kicks were happening in real time.
Super kicks were 10-7, Jimmy, and the pink slip on a pole match was loser had to drive home.
So that's another stipulation. And for the
this
betting
is the
people,
worst match I've ever seen in person. All 17 that I've seen in person.
And for the betting people, we did not hit the over. It was fell short by 3 or 4 if you really had.
If you took the live under, it was definitely easy money because after a minute it was probably like 40.5.
Yeah.
So I think there was 5. So I did rewatch it. Some of the kicks are to the sternum, but we're gonna count them all super kick.
A kick is a kick, buddy.
Fuck it, yeah.
And it was
Super
dude
kick is a
wipes.
punch to these guys.
Very appropriately sponsored. It was 3. Was it 3 sponsored in a row?
There was dude. Well, I think all the matches after because there was a Wingstop match,
I
dude
don't
wipes
remember
match.
Gunther's.
Gunther didn't have a sponsor, and then the main
That's what I'm saying,
event
it was
had
just 3 in a
something,
row.
but we couldn't see what it was.
Okay. Well, this was Dude Wipes, and it was appropriately named because it was shit, as you.
And these are the sons of Rikishi, by the way.
Yeah.
The guy who used to put his ass in people's faces, so it makes sense.
But the Usos did redeem themselves on night 2, and we'll get to
Oh,
that.
amazing. Yeah, they did a great job. I wonder if they were pacing themselves because they knew they had a big spot the second night. But this match could have told such a great story. I thought the best possible story they could have gone with here is the brotherly love street fight thing.
Yeah.
Although the match the second night was really good. The street fight.
Yeah.
Albeit kind of lame, but they needed a stipulation because they do so many of the same moves. They could have turned that into a story where like, oh my God, they're so evenly matched. They're reversing everything because they know each other so well and they're just doing the same move, but one is not better than the other, so the other can't win. And then I thought it would have made sense for Jimmy to cheat to win because that's the only advantage he would have had or something like that.
Right.
But this was the worst match I've ever seen. It was even worse when I watched it on TV.
Oh, I skipped it. Jey Uso, besides the stupid Millie song that was from 2008, he is so over with the crowd.
Oh my God, you're not kidding. Oh, dude, all you need is a catchphrase or something with your hands. The Daniel Bryan thing worked. Dude, LA Knight literally says the most commonly used word in the language, and it's his catchphrase.
Yeah.
when they showed the match card at the end of night 1 before the main event of like, here's what's coming on the market, the entire crowd starts screaming, yeah.
Right.
It's amazing.
And for Trick Williams on NXT, anytime he came up, whoop, that trick was just
even when he's not there, they chanted it.
I know. Yeah, let's move on. This was also a popcorn match, but it was a more thrilling popcorn match.
It was an appropriate popcorn. This is the wing match.
I literally went to the bathroom, came back, the
Yes,
match was over. Literally was
same.
over.
I wanted to see Jade's entrance, and I think you and I left the same time. I wanted to see Jade's entrance because I was like, that I want to see what they do because she's a big deal.
Yeah.
And once they enter the ring, what's it called, the Tokyo Warriors enter the ring. Damage
Kabuki.
Control. No, Kabuto.
Kabuki Warriors, but Damage Control is the group's name.
Asuka deserves better. She's amazing, and she's in a fucking tag team and has never won at WrestleMania.
I know.
Although they're all really good. The match was terrible on the TV last night. It was a decent match, and Jade looked good, but she also looked terrible.
She's very green.
It's unfortunate. She knows 3 moves, and while she looks amazing, she did like 4 moves, and they were terrible.
And people wanted that to be her first match with Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair would eat her alive.
Or Nia, which would have also sucked. Who also deserved to be on the show.
Who would have injured her, by the way?
She should have been on the show, though. I think she deserved it after. She's done great work the last couple months. But yeah, this was... Watched the beginning of the match, went to the bathroom, came back, perfect timing, right as we were getting like the story for the next one.
Right. Which was Sammy Balboa.
Yes.
Versus Gunther Drago for the
Now this makes total sense.
Title.
Makes total sense for this to be the Rocky tie-in, but we didn't know in the arena that that's what they were doing.
Right.
Because on the if you rewatch the match, it's a great match cinematically.
Oh, I watched it.
Because it's it's his wife. I thought the whole time, if we had been watching on like a TV somewhere, I'm thinking, oh, this is going to end with her throwing in the towel. It's exactly how this ends. Or if the other guy, the Kurt Angle guy that he's teamed with, Gable, I think.
Chad Gable.
If he would have been in the corner, he would have thrown the towel in.
He would have been perfect. Mickey. He's Mickey.
Then it would have been perfect to set up a feud between those two because then Gable turns heel.
Yeah, I have it laid out right here under the bulletin. I don't know if you got the copy I got. But dude, it was awesome.
I thought it was great.
Amazing storytelling.
So when it was first announced, like 3-4 months ago, that they were going to have some sort of a Rocky tie-in, my first thought was, okay, the stage will be the museum steps because they did the Oscars or whatever last year. I thought, okay, the stage will kind of look like the museum. That makes sense. Or no, okay, no, didn't do that. Okay, Cody's going to be Rocky. He's got to overcome all these obstacles. Nope, didn't do that either because he's not an underdog. He's neck and neck. This made perfect sense, and I never even picked up on it watching the TV. Going into it, I knew the whole time he's like, I can't do it, and you're like, well, fuck, this is just a Gunther squash, and Sammy's just a pro that's gonna make him look amazing, and it turns out it was the opposite. Gunther's a pro that made Sammy look amazing.
They're both pros, honestly.
Yeah, I thought so. Honest to God, when Seth destroyed his knee, and Punk got hurt, I thought it made perfect sense to put Seth with Gunther, because Gunther could make a believable 10-minute match, where it looks like he's killing Seth and pinning him while not even hurting him. So I thought that would have been the perfect setup for that, but McIntyre was even better. And Gunther, you can't just have him be like, oh, I don't want this anymore, I want that one. He had to lose the championship, and I think if you drop his momentum at any point before that show, then he's not believable in the real main event.
Both guys left as winners.
Gunther looked amazing, oh my God. And him losing didn't feel like, okay, he just got caught being cocky for the first time in his career, and he got beat by a guy that just like hulked up out of nowhere. And did a fucking Ring of Honor finisher. Amazing.
It was a tie to the main event. No, not the main event. The main event of night 2, where someone got cocky and lost. And the kicker to night 2 as well. So someone won it, got a little cocky, fell a little something, and then loses it. It's all these little tie-ins. When you slip up, boom, that's when you can lose.
And I thought the night 2 main event, that was a mini tie-in that they kind of snuck in there last minute, it felt like, because they never built to it. This one they built the entire time, but it made perfect sense.
Right.
But now if Sammy loses it sometime the next month or two, it's going to be kind of, well, fuck, that was kind of a wasted moment.
I mean...
But amazing moment nonetheless.
You had...
Second year in a row, by the way, that he won a title during Ramadan, and he's a Muslim.
Dude, it's
ending
incredible.
2 historic reigns, by the way. Right. No pun intended.
The cast of characters, like I mentioned, Gunther Drago, Ivan Drago.
Yes.
Sammy Balboa, Rocky Balboa, whose wife and son were in the backstage. They had that pep talk. We couldn't see it in the stadium, but
yeah, we saw, we couldn't hear it.
Yeah, couldn't hear it. That's what it was.
Because
they're having that moment.
We saw,
right?
Yeah.
She's at ringside, so she's watching her man get absolutely beaten down, and then finally makes the comeback. Yep. You had Chad Gable as Mickey, as the trainer, and says, "You got this, kid. You got this." And then right before he goes out, when he thinks like, "All right, here it is." Who else but Paulie, a.k.a. Kevin Paulie, comes out, gives him a hug, and says, "You got this. Let's go." And then, obviously, in the telecast, you hear the Rocky kind of songs in the background. Very subtle. But you can hear the doom, doom, like that Rocky tune that they have. So it was all in all class. Gunther, 666 days as champion. What a reign. What a reign.
Yeah, he's incredible. He brought so much prestige to that title. He made it seem more important than Rollins' title.
Right. For sure.
And the other thing is, this did a really good job of getting the fans back into it. I thought from the second they showed Owens, the crowd was red hot, and then
Yeah.
Gunther so popular. The "Let's Go Gunther, Let's Go Sammy" chants. You can hear him on the TV if you rewatch it.
It was.
And then the finish was amazing. Two kicks after hooking up, then the fucking
Haluva kicks.
brainbuster. Oh my god.
That's the finish of the El Generico, right? El
Yeah,
Generico?
he learned that from El Generico,
Yeah.
who is now, I believe, helping orphans.
And I believe these two wrestled eons ago at some like indie show, and it's like
Yeah,
a
they've
fat
only
young Walter and a
Yeah.
Generico.
And Generico, yeah.
Oh
Well, no,
my
the
God.
Generico and Sammy aren't the same person.
They're not.
Generico is helping orphans in Mexico, isn't he?
Sure, just like Hollywood Hogan and Hulk Hogan are not the same person.
They're not. Hollywood Hogan's the one that went to his son's DUI arrest.
Right.
I love the story that Generico just like disappeared
Oh,
and is now helping like orphans and charities and stuff.
All right, let's head.
I like that also for what it's worth. And this is the last thing I'll say about this. I
Uh,
like that with the current regime, they're not afraid to make references to what these guys were in their past. Like
Yeah.
if Vince were still writing this, there'd be no tie-ins to ROH. There'd be they wouldn't even acknowledge the Brainbuster. It would be a what a maneuver, as Michael Cole's talking about the app, and they would never even talk about Owens and Sammy being friends. They would just be like, oh, here's a guy that doesn't like this guy.
push Prime. Push Prime. It's the best drink. Push it.
Yeah.
And Prime.
Michael Cole has no.
Our sponsors.
Michael Cole does not know what a BCAA is. Neither does Pat McAfee somehow, and he's in fucking. He was in the NFL. Mark.
And here's another thing: you can tell in the commentary, it's like a breath of fresh air. There's no one in their ear dictating them. They're more
There might be
free.
some things that they're being fed,
Yeah.
but definitely. And night 2, I have a note I wanted to make about LA Knight's entrance.
Okay. Let's get to the main event, and I'll let you take it away because this is going to be a profanity-filled
Yeah.
moment.
So the fucking final fucking boss, the fucking Rock, and his fucking cousin Roman Reigns defeated with Paul Heyman, who just got inducted into the Hall of Fucking Fame the same night as the Rock's fucking grandmother. Because the Rock, all he does is curse on TV now, and you can't hear anything anymore because every fucking word gets blurred out. So the Rock and Roman Reigns defeated Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. Second longest match in WrestleMania history. This is 44 minutes, bell to bell. Do you know what the longest one is, or did I already put it on here?
I don't think you put it here.
It's Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels.
The screw job?
The 60-minute Iron Man match that went to overtime.
Yes.
So this is longer than all the Undertaker matches. This is longer than all the Hogan matches. This is the second longest match ever in WrestleMania history, which is crazy. So now, did both tables get obliterated, or was it just one? Because I know
one.
Cody put Rock through the English one, but the Spanish one was unscathed.
I think it was unscathed.
Unless because they were standing on the Spanish one, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like I remember Roman putting somebody through a table.
That
Was
must
it
have been
night 2 that it had to be night 2 where he put Cody through the table?
Yeah, it was night 2. I believe it was night 2.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Oh,
All right,
no,
but yeah.
Cena put Solo through the table in night 2.
Yeah, Cena put Solo through the Spanish one.
Yes.
But I remember both tables were obliterated night 2. So I think Roman did like the last ride. Yeah, because he did like the last ride powerbomb to Cody, and then immediately put him in the ring, which I thought was amazing psychology. I'll talk about that later. But this match started off so slow. After 4 great entrances, The Rock took 6.5 minutes. We were the same 40 seconds of the Hollywood Rock song. Rollins got the crowd into it. Obviously, the fans were into Cody. I thought it was smart to put the good guys out first.
Yeah.
Get the crowd into it, and then The Rock comes out with the fire and everything.
Final boss has arrived.
I feel like this match and that entrance was because Rock expected to have a long match with Reigns, and then he got put into night 1 instead. They gave him 45 minutes to make him happy because he thought he was getting a big moment. This really wasn't a big moment. Reigns' entrance, he looked like $1 million. The thing I love about Roman Reigns, and this is kind of like what The Rock used to be like when he was younger.
Mm-hmm.
Cody comes out in his fucking Civil War costume. Seth Rollins comes out dressed as a mummer. The Rock has his cute little outfit on.
That was night 2.
Roman Reigns just comes out in his ring gear, and he has the
The necklace.
the
It was
necklace thing, but he comes out in his ring gear. He's ready for a fight. Like the second I like that about him.
yeah, he's
It
here to
reminds me of
fight.
how Lesnar comes out in his gear. He doesn't come out in like a sweatshirt, some shoes, a hat, a bunch of stuff. He doesn't need all that crap. Reigns is just there for a fight, and I think it makes him look amazing. And he was in the best shape I've ever seen him in.
Oh yeah, I think
Oh my god, he looked like he dropped like 20 pounds.
Cody, you mentioned it. Like this was
Yeah,
the best version of the tribal chief he's ever
he
been.
looked amazing, and so did The Rock. Rock looked amazing. Cody looked great. Seth obviously hasn't been able to work out as much, but he looked great.
Right.
None of these guys looked out of place except the beginning in the standoff. You have these two tiny little boys standing off with the two big bullies because Reigns and Rock are NFL players, and these other two guys are like track stars. And I absolutely love that Pat McAfee made. There was a comment he made on commentary. Nice, they're up 3-1. He said, and this is, I love this. Like I said, tying it into real life things. He said, Cody and Seth want to turn this into a track meet because Roman wrestles once every 5 months and The Rock hasn't wrestled in 8 years. I'm like, oh my god, it's fucking logic. It makes so much sense for them to say that, especially because they're the smaller guys. You don't want to get held into the corner and get brutalized.
Right.
No, make them. He even said like their cardio is probably shit.
Right.
And the whole time the announcers are like, well, is The Rock in shape? Well, yes, he's in shape. Look at him. Well, is he in ring shape? And Graves is like, hey, man, it took me, 4 months to get into ring shape when I got into ring shape. And I thought there was so much psychological stuff that just made sense on commentary. They did such a great job of presenting it, too. And the deliberate beginning, it was boring in the stadium, but on TV, it's very cinematic. Where it's like, okay, we're standing off. We respect that if we make a wrong move, you're going to exploit us. So it's like we're going to move very slowly. Right. And then for the 4 different matchups we got with the tag-ins, the fans popped. It was great.
Honestly. And then they also went into the stands. Like Roman and Cody went up to the ramp. Rock went into the stands. So it was like a way of like, all right, Rock's cardio probably is shit a little bit.
Yeah, it saves them from chain wrestling. And chain wrestling didn't make sense in a match like this.
And plus, it opens up the match. Fight. It opens up the arena to everyone being involved. So not everything being located in the center.
I appreciate that they didn't just have the other two guys laying on the mat sleeping while the two guys were in the crowd. They're all 4 of them are dead. There's a back body drop over here. This guy's spitting on him.
So whichever Rock angle you're sitting on, you can be excited for one because you're missing out on the other.
Yeah, and then
you're like, what's going on over there?
You might get to hear Rock say "fuck."
Right.
It's fucking weirdo. I can't stand the way. I don't like the Rock anymore.
But how it ends, Roman speared
I didn't like the
Rock,
ending.
Which was a little a nice meme. It made a nice meme moment.
They never touch back on it, which means they will. They don't do these things. Our king Bobby Roode does not write these into matches.
Oh, SmackDown's tonight? No, SmackDown's tomorrow. We'll see if Roman and Rock are in the same building.
Roman is going to be there, from what I heard, or from what I read.
If Rock is,
I think Rock is gone. That was Rock's farewell Monday, I think.
It felt like it.
Yeah.
It is because
the chants, that was amazing. You guys, your crowd did amazing Monday. This is awkward chant. No, hey, goodbye, bye.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot. Great. I'll touch on it at the end of the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the end of the day, the bad guys win, and it became Bloodlines rule, which everyone knew, but we suspended belief for that.
Yeah, we knew it was gonna happen, but there were like 3 or 4 times we were like, "Holy shit, this might end."
Right.
Especially the double crossroads. Yeah, the 2 crossroads, the spear, the double pedigree. You're like, "Oh my god."
Right.
There were some big moments. Rock bumped his ass off in this match. He looked great.
Phenomenal.
It's like riding a bike. Somebody else said this. I forget who I was listening to. I think it was somebody's interview. It might have been Cody. I was when Cody was on Ariel Helwani last week. It was before the event.
I never watched that interview.
It was really good because he toes the line really well of being in character and out of it.
Yeah. And
he mentions in there, like Ariel asked him something. He goes, The Rock, when you peel back all the layers, entrepreneur, super, he basically lists off the 30 things The Rock is. He goes, at heart, he is a wrestler. Like that's what he is. Like that's what he's the best at. And I thought that was fair because every time he comes back, he's amazing.
Right. And
his heel work legitimately made me hate him.
Well, it's also the fans changed the main event, and he pivoted. Amazing. Instead of putting 10 toes down with Vince and saying, "No, this is the story. Deal with it." No, they pivoted, and he became an obnoxious heel, and he got over real quick.
It's annoying, too, because I bet you it's half and half him actually wanting to do it and half him knowing that if he leans into it, people will hate him.
Right.
Him feeling as though he's above the rules and saying fuck all the time it's it kind of sucks because you can't hear half the. They don't just bleep it; they just blur out the entire sentence.
Yeah.
I think people believe he's doing that to make himself look cool, but it's also him probably leaning into the character, going, "Yeah, I'm the guy that owns the company now. I can do whatever I want."
Yeah.
And
TKO.
it's again blurring the lines. And I thought the press conference that we were on, that we live streamed, I thought that was amazingly done.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
you know it's a work, and you know this is not real, but they
Suspend
made it
belief,
feel
baby.
like it made it feel so like so believable. You're like, oh my god, even if we don't believe all of it, I might believe small pieces here.
Triple H, baby. He's suspending all
Yeah.
the beliefs, and he's doing good. I like it.
The best part of that was after when he was leaving, Rock was he made it seem like, okay, you're writing the show, make him talk about my family again, I'm gonna kill you. And I'm
Right.
like, there's like a non-zero chance that was maybe real. But then after he says fuck every week, you're like, okay, that fuck didn't matter.
Right.
Yeah, if you motherfuck everybody, then you motherfuck nobody. I didn't love the ending. I didn't love that Rock stole the pin from Roman, but that might be something that they tie back into, because Rock will say, "Hey, I'm the reason that night 2 match was Bloodline. You fucking stole the pin from me." And then there's so much,
But
there's so many
also,
ways they can go from here.
and we'll move on. We'll go on tonight too.
Mm-hmm.
Cody never beat Rock.
Yes,
Cody beat Reigns, but never beat Rock, and Rock beat Cody, technically by pinning him.
technically, but it's
So,
also technically Rock's fault now that Roman lost.
yeah. So it's a lot of
It's like
beliefs.
there's so many intertwined things that I wonder if they even know about all these different things that they can do now.
I'm sure.
Which I guess it's good that Rock's gonna disappear and fuck off for another 8 months, because they can just be like, let's watch this match start to finish 500 times and find different details that we can build into Heyman's promos and Rock's promos and stuff.
Right.
Because Heyman and Rock are gonna probably feed families on the mic.
Oh, dude, I'm excited for the.
I'm very excited to
season.
see this like Bloodline Civil War stuff, because Jacob Fatu's there now. You have Tama Tonga. It's gonna be good.
That's gonna be a nice pickup for them.
Jacob Fatu, you're gonna if you ever seen him,
I saw a couple clips, dude.
holy shit!
I
Oh
can't
my
wait.
god, he's like what Umaga looked like when Umaga was Jamal, but just like slimmer.
Right.
He's so athletic, it's amazing, and he's a killer on the mic. And solo, if he ever breaks away, we get to see a little bit of his NXT stuff on the mic. There's a lot of things they can do here.
Right.
Also worth noting, no interference in this match.
Shocking.
The Usos were dead. Solo was nowhere to be found.
They all saved it for night 2. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Which was the most overbooked and made no sense, but also made so much sense, and nobody cared.
Right. Suspend belief. All right, we'll kick off
Number
night 2.
Night 2, CM Punk. I was surprised they didn't open the show with him. They did him in the pre-show.
Yeah.
I thought for sure it was going to be, my name's Michael Cole. Here's the guy with all the tattoos. And then bang, CM Punk's music hits. The crowd goes nuts. They did him in the pre-show, which I was surprised about.
But he walked out during the pre-show that bled into the main show. You know what?
But I thought for sure they're going to start the show with something that gets the crowd into it.
Which is CM
Especially
Punk's song.
especially because it ties into the entrance, and the crowd went nuts for him.
But it's awesome because he's not bigger than the match. He's a commentator, which is even a nice touch from Triple H.
Yeah, I do like that too. It made sense because he came out after McAfee, by the way. If anybody's over with the crowd, it's him.
Yeah, right.
And so Cole's song is terrible, but the fans liked him.
And Graves is just, I don't know.
The most racist music possible for the Spanish announcers, by the way. They come out to like the fucking Los Pericos matchup music.
I didn't hear it.
It's like ballroom Hispanic music. It's amazing.
Oh, dude, that sucks. All right. Drew McIntyre defeats with Roddy Piper's Ghost, defeats Seth Rollins with Mummers. 10-minute and a half.
All right, so
Show. Not bad.
I'm not saying this to be funny. I swear to God. For a second there, I thought Roddy Piper was coming out, and I was like, wait a second, no, he's dead. Because they played Piper's song, which is also may or may not have been like a thing to Punk, because Punk looked up to Piper. So I wonder if that was like McIntyre playing head games with him in character anyway. But that was the Scottish band, I think, from Philly, and then also the Mummers came out with Seth, which was another tie-in.
That reminds me, I mentioned Corey Graves is nice on the mic or on commentary. When Drew McIntyre was coming down the ramp after the bagpipes, McAfee's like, "Oh, the swords. Who are they from?" Because Cole knew the information for the bagpipes.
Did he call them nerds?
And then Corey Graves quietly, "Nerds." And then you just hear dead silence because they're just dying.
Somebody had to be laughing. When Rollins came out, Punk was like, "I can't take him seriously. He looks like a clown." And McAfee the whole time was just burying the Mummers. He was like, "What are these people doing?"
Right. Well, he's clueless.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they were great. I thought I thought the commentary dynamic was a little off though, because there was four voices and Punk kind of disappeared for times.
Yeah, because he's
And
more.
I felt like McAfee was tweeting the whole time. He didn't really say much.
He did tweet during the match.
So did one of the competitors.
McAfee, I mean, not McAfee. McIntyre did tweet with his
McIntyre.
girlfriend over there. It was like, bored at
So
work.
fucking funny. So funny.
Yep.
I didn't realize that. I thought he was taking like a selfie for a fan because on when you're watching in the arena, I didn't know who that was. Later on, you could see the shirt said "I prayed for this." I thought he was taking a selfie with a fan or something, or taking a video of being like, "Hey, fuck you! You're on the floor. You suck. I'm gonna kill you," or whatever. But
It's would have been epic too. But bored at
that was
work,
so
LOL
funny.
is hilarious.
And then when he later on after he lost, him just saying "fuck," that was even
Right.
funnier. So in this match, I thought this was a great callback to the Danielson versus Sheamus match at WrestleMania 29,
Yeah.
where the beginning of the match just started with Danielson being so overconfident, and I guess he was called Daniel Bryan. Sorry, and Sheamus hit him with a kick, and the match was over.
Yeah.
I thought it was over in 2 seconds.
Dude, those Claymore kicks were like devastating.
Oh my
One
God.
worse
Well,
than
he
the
actually
last.
he actually got him with one, and Seth literally said, "I can't see."
Yeah, black eye. It was rough, dude.
I thought it was over. I thought the match was starting and ending, and then as it happened, I'm like, "This is over. This is over." But wait, there's only like 5 matches tonight, and
Right.
I thought for sure they were going to give Cody and Roman an hour, between promos and entrances,
Yeah.
and then they were going to be, the Hall of Fame. I'm like, well, it can't end because if it ends in 6 seconds, you just wasted 15 minutes in entrances, and then Punk is completely irrelevant now. So I put here, I love the urgency here. I don't know if they ever talked about this on commentary, but it made sense from a psychology standpoint. McIntyre knowing Rollins is dying, going, let me just go for the kill now.
Yeah.
I thought it was a poorly psychological match in the moment because I'm like, it's just finisher after finisher. It's a very TV match. But then in hindsight, I'm like, well, they both know in character anyway that this guy knows he needs to beat me, and I know I don't have a whole lot left in the tank. I got to hit him with all my big moves. Or this guy's dying. I got to hit him with all my big moves and just put him out of his misery.
Right.
So I think in hindsight, that's actually a really good way of going about it.
Yeah. Because he did
So I thought it was a good match.
Because he did tell him throughout the weeks, like, get out of this storyline. That's none of your business. You should be focusing on me because you're going to wear yourself out because I'm going to come for you and I'm not going to stop. Pause. And that's what it was, honestly.
Yeah. And then also, McIntyre was so obsessed with Punk. The whole
nice
time
little-
he's saying, yeah,
A
the
nice
whole time
little-
he's saying, hey, man, you're so obsessed with the bloodline. You're going to be, you're not going to have anything left for me. And then McIntyre takes his focus off of. So he wins the match, which I thought was great. Fans, I thought it was. So when he went to the table, I thought he was turning face because I thought he was apologizing to Punk. I was like, oh, he went over to the table. I didn't see him like seductively crawl on it. I was like, is he apologizing to him and they're about to shake hands and say bye? No shot. And then boom, the crotch top. Punk with the thing. You probably didn't hear it on TV. The crowd went absolutely ballistic for that.
Oh,
when he took his suit jacket off, the place went nuts. Amazing.
When he seductively crawled onto the table, he was talking so much crap to him. And you hear at one point, Punk's like, I can't hear you, dude.
I can't hear you. I got the cans on.
Which is even great. And he kept focused. Awesome. And then, like I mentioned with Gunther, you take your focus off the ball with just 1 second, and boom, it's all over. McIntyre's showboating in front of Punk. He turns around for 1 second, and Punk takes his leg, sweeps him, beats his ass up, takes the brace off, smashes him over the head, and then who do we have? But music drops.
Amazing. Dude, the crowd
Damian
went
Priest
insane for that.
Dude, I popped because I was like, no fucking way. It's
by the way,
happening.
I think so. He came up with his own ref. I think that was the only Hispanic ref in the company too. By the way,
There's more.
which was a nice little tie-in.
There's more Hispanic refs than just the
Well,
one.
he was the only one on the show because if you
Oh,
look at the
was
list
he?
of referees, yeah, he was the only one on the show.
That's even
So,
better.
and there's a picture of him backstage with the ref, and there's a picture of him with I think Bailey, and I think the ref. So I think they were going for the little, like the
Bailey
Hispanic
has
tie-in.
Hispanics too. She has some Hispanic ties in her as
Yeah.
well.
They took a picture together because they were like first pair of Hispanic champions concurrently.
That's pretty cool.
But yeah, that was funny. Priest, amazing. I thought he did a great job. He looked like a killer. And then those guys celebrating on the ramp, I thought was like almost kind of genuine because they looked so happy.
You saw the backstage one?
Yeah.
That was awesome too. They were kind of
The whole thing was really cool.
They ran out.
Whole thing was great. Really well executed. I thought it did kind of suck because I was like, oh, cool. Drew got his moment, but it really did get taken away from, like, on a personal level, it got taken away.
Yeah.
But he could also be gone in a few months because we don't know his contract status.
He still hasn't resigned.
Yeah, so it made sense to give him the moment, take it away, and then if his family left and flipped off the link, which I thought was pretty funny.
The match lasted for 9 seconds, And
Yeah,
McIntyre officially held the title for 5 minutes and 46 seconds because he let us know twice on Monday Night Raw,
yeah.
which he also said that's longer. That's 5 minutes longer than we all last in bed, probably. So we should shut it. And hey, no cap on
Time is
that
of
one.
the essence. We're not here forever. We got to
Get in, get
devote
out.
time to work. Second match: Bobby Lashley, Angelo Dawkins, and Montez Ford with some girl against Karrion Cross, who was above this. Cross and Lashley could have had a one-on-one match, honestly, because they're both
But they have
killers.
no.
Uh,
Lashley has no personality,
yeah,
really.
there's no story either. So it was those three guys with some chick against Karrion Cross, some other two dudes, some girl, and Paul Ellering, who, by the way, was never on WrestleMania before. All those years with the
First
Road
one.
Warriors, never made it to WrestleMania. Very cool. Street Fight was great. Bubba Ray Dudley got a massive cheer. I don't know if you heard it on TV, but that was very loud. When he took the glasses out, probably the loudest that the crowd got to in that whole match. They fucked up the table spot, and they were just like, fuck it, go get a different one. And they did it again.
Yeah, we did catch
Snoop
that.
Dogg was great on commentary.
He was
Um,
annoying for me, honestly.
he was a little annoying, but he was definitely high. So
Oh
it's
yeah,
whatever.
that goes without saying.
Bubba put the glasses on. They went through tables. It was very much
What's
like
that?
let's make the crowd happy type of thing.
Right.
So good stuff. I liked it.
Uh, LA
And
Knight.
then possibly the loudest pop of the night to this point, LA Knight coming out.
I
Good
still haven't seen
Lord.
that match. This is the rest. I haven't seen the rest of it.
I thought they should have gotten more time. Um,
LA Knight.
I,
I think
I
this is
thought they should have
perfect.
gotten. It was really well done. It was a well executed match. AJ, it's funny. AJ's going against like so many people. His two best Mania matches are LA Knight and Shane McMahon. I thought this was great.
He's been there with a who's who.
AJ's music was terrible.
Oh yeah, that
LA Knight.
sucks.
So I noticed in the arena, I'm like, he's on the turnbuckle. Why is he not doing the thing? He was on turnbuckle for like a minute. Didn't do anything. The referee's right next to him. Then he tapped him, and then he did the thing. Watching it back, they were plugging Slim Jim the whole time, and then they cut back to LA Knight, and then he does it. Like, okay, this must be what it's like when you're in the arena and you're waiting, through the commercial break or whatever.
You hate to see that, but yeah,
Yeah.
He came out as a megastar as usual.
Oh my God, they're both very, very popular. AJ, I love that AJ sprinted down the ramp. He's like, I can't wait to get my fucking hands on you. I thought that was great.
I think Samantha Irvin didn't even get to finish the entrance. The
Yeah,
intro.
the phenomenal. Yeah, this should have been longer. Chance.
I did hear the
Uh,
chants.
turn
I had
turn
no
the
idea
lights
what was
off.
going on, but I
I
realized.
couldn't tell what was happening. So there's a spotlight at every long part of the ring. There's a spotlight on the second level,
Yeah.
and by the way, they did turn the lights off when we were chanting.
Yeah, I caught it on TikTok, but
Yeah.
I was like, in the moment, I'm like, well, someone fucked up
Yeah.
on the lights, but I don't know where. I can't see it,
Yeah.
obviously.
So there was a turn the lights off chant. There was a please turn the lights off. That was amazing.
7 Nation Army.
I can't see and fuck these lights. The fuck these lights chant was where they were, okay, we got to turn these fucking lights off, and they did it. And then so if you hear random cheers, that's why.
Yeah.
Toward the end of the match, they put the lights back on for the final spot, and the fans started booing a little bit, and then the finish happened, and then we were, oh, cool, it's fine, he won. Logan Paul came out with some YouTube guy in a Prime bottle.
I Show Speed. That's his name. Big YouTuber.
I thought it was KSI. Maybe I'm
He's a
racist,
streamer,
but
actually.
that's what I assumed it was going to be because he was there last year.
He's a streamer, if anything. He's like Twitch.
He barked at Randy Orton, and they got arcadoed on the table, which was hilarious. He sold that like $1 million too.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens. First of all, Logan Paul, the fucking natural. Where's he been for the last 10 years? He should have been doing this from birth because he's so easily hateable. He wore Eagles colors too.
Yeah, he did.
Really cool.
I thought it was like a way to show that he's face now.
Is he?
Well, he's not. He's a heel, but
That's what I thought too. I was
when
like,
you
he's wearing Eagles.
when you do like those Eagles
Because
colors.
Theory and Waller were pandering too, and I'm like, they're not faces. But KO, he's got his animations on the screen. His were the ECW colors, and I got a big cheer. ECW chant,
They had
and then he comes out in a golf cart. Yeah, he's great. I love the KO Mania logo.
The golf cart was a funny moment because Randy Orton, you can see him just going like this, slow down.
Oh
slow
yeah,
down.
he was like, slow down.
I'm like, it's going a little
Yeah,
too
the
fast.
match was great. I thought the match was really, really good. I liked the finish. Logan Paul got really high on that frog splash.
Oh, he does, dude. It's ridiculous.
He's great.
Such.
He's amazing.
So gifted.
He's incredible. He's like very like Van Damme-ish, where everything looks smooth. And
He just needs better
Owens-
mic skills. That's it.
yeah, but the thing is, he's so easily hateable that it doesn't even matter. It just sounds like a douchebag talking. And
Well, if he's going against like an LA Knight who can do on the mic,
yeah,
you better get
because
your
LA
shit
will
together.
put him to sleep. Yeah. Gatorade chant.
That was funny.
H2O
I
chant.
did catch the Gatorade
Yeah.
chant.
There was an H2O chant not too long after that. There was a beer chant, which you couldn't really hear.
Uh-huh.
Powerade chant, we want water chant, fuck these lights chant, and then turn the lights off chant.
Nice.
Um,
Co-main event?
yeah, great stuff. Co-main event, I did miss the beginning of this because I had to use the bathroom, so I missed the entrances. But what the hell was she doing in her entrance, Bailey?
I don't know what that was. She was being carried, but you can tell on the backside of it, the guy was like losing grip and he was about to drop her
Yeah,
clean.
yeah, I saw the she was very very popular that night. Very
She's over.
crowd went nuts for her. I got back in time for the like the introductions. Um, they did show George Kittle again. Booze,
Booed.
not the greatest idea for a Niners fan because Bailey's from the Bay, but good match. The ending was really cool when they EO did the hand plant or the handspring thing on the. I think
Oh
Bailey tried to hit
yes,
her finisher, and she did like a hamstring type of deal.
they're very good.
Yeah,
Two underrated. It was an underrated match.
it's a great
People
match.
slept
That
on it.
also probably should have gotten more time.
It should have. It could have made a event at night one if everything
Yeah.
went to plan. Oh,
But
not
I
really.
think even if the plan were executed, Punk would have made event at night one with Rollins.
Oh yeah, it still would have been called a main event, but it would have got more time.
What would they have done with Cody if they had Rock and Roman and then Punk and Rollins?
Cody would have been on commentary or something.
Cody would have had to been like hurt,
Kayfabe hurt.
or they would have had to pull the title off Rollins abruptly and given Cody like Drew or something,
Oh yeah, for
or
sure.
Cody would have had to beat Damian for the briefcase or something and cash in after that. Yeah, and then Cody with the Avengers defeated Roman with the Bloodline. 33 minutes. I thought they could have gotten more time. It felt like the ending was a little rushed. I got to be honest. That's my only problem with this. I thought that they went into the interferences too early.
I thought it was going to be an hour-long match.
I thought it was going to be 45 to 50 minutes because of all the. So honest to God, I expected everybody that was involved except Taker. I thought Austin would be involved. I thought for sure Rikishi's getting in there. I thought Orton was going to get involved. And then there was the off chance because Dustin was there. I thought, okay, maybe they're letting Dustin do this. And then also Jacob Fatu signed the same day. I'm like, fuck, they can figure something out with him.
Right.
So then you got essentially 5 against 5. And I like that they came out alone because I thought if they would have come out with The Rock and Solo like guarding the ringside area, it would have given away too much.
Yeah.
And they had a great match leading in. They used weapons, but not too many. Like the funniest moment of the night, Cody grabs the table, the fan go nuts. Roman hits him, puts the table back under, and goes, "I'm not that fucking stupid," and
Yeah.
that was amazing.
Yeah, it translated very well on TV. I was like, oh,
I enjoyed that
superhero
very
moment.
much.
I told my buddy,
Roman
I'm
is,
like, I told my buddy, this is the moment where Roman should just take the table and throw it out of the ring or put it under the ring,
yes,
something. And it's exactly
amazing,
what he did.
amazing. I thought that was whoever came up with that is brilliant. As silly as that is, it's a great idea, and also,
Instant heat.
yeah, Roman's great at the in-match trash talking too. When he hit Cody with his own move and said, "That move sucks, man."
He laughed too.
The thing is, Cody should have said that after the spear. I'm like, "Your move fucking sucks too, pal."
Right.
But
Too
I
nice.
thought there could have been more done. I thought they could have had Brandy involved somehow. Like maybe Heyman gets on the apron,
And
Brandy
comes in.
slaps him, or Mama Rhodes. Rock also has too much respect for her, probably to go over to there and say things to her face. But I thought maybe Brandy's father could have done something if they really wanted to go nuts and go Attitude Era on here, or even McIntyre comes out pissed off, and then Rollins and McIntyre get into it. But Rollins looked like he was literally dead. There was a split second where I thought there was a chance we were getting Moxley.
Oh, dude, when the
I
Shield
think
music hit,
I think that's what everybody thought.
I was like, no effing way.
Corey
And I
Graves
thought-
is the same thing. I thought he maybe deep down thought, "Oh, was this?" Because he's like, guys.
Bro, because I thought they were gonna come through the stands together.
I thought so too. Everybody was looking at the far side. I looked down low because I was recording. And I'm like, wait, that's Rollins right there, and you can see him grab. He jumps over the thing, grabs a chair, then like
Instant
crawls
tap.
into the ring.
And then
I
instant
love
tap.
that the story is Roman saving Rock because that's how he got hit from behind.
Yeah.
Just intertwining things, and I like the deep down when you strip everything away. This guy had this guy's back. This guy had this guy's back type of thing. Very it makes sense.
And also, what led to Roman's defeat is him hitting the chair shot on Rollins because this was his moment to do away with all those years of pent up aggression for killing the Shield. he saw the moment. He gave him a devastating chair shot,
That was one of the best chair shots I've ever seen.
which led to Cody getting the upper hand on him, which led to Gunther losing, led to Drew losing. You take your eye off the ball once, and it is done for you. It was a great story all around. I don't know if you caught it, but Jimmy comes out, first interference. Who was his counterpart? Jay. They go battle out to the ramp, and then a spear off the ramp into the
That
table.
was incredible.
I didn't know there was tables there. Dude,
Me
I'm
neither.
like,
Where we were, we couldn't see either. I thought they just went straight down.
I'm like, is that a mistake? Did someone die? And then we're like, oh, wait, there's tables there.
Wait, also, if you watch the replay, Jimmy immediately, as soon as Jake hugs him, basically, he's looking backwards.
I didn't catch it.
But yeah, we couldn't see the table where we were, and there was no replay of it. But that was great. Solo
comes out. And then
same spot, right? The third crossroad, he hits him with the spike.
Yeah,
okay, this is perfect.
I thought when he had Cody, like holding Cody as Roman's gonna do the spear.
That's when I thought we were getting Cena's music.
No, I thought Cody was gonna pull Solo in to get the spear, but they did the spear spike, and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, that was actually really creative too. I don't think have they done that before.
I think near fall after near fall, and you can tell.
I thought we were getting music at the pin also.
Nah. Because I knew this was it when near fall after near fall, and then you hear on TV, you hear and see Solo getting frustrated. A man who doesn't get frustrated, showing emotion, talking.
Yeah.
Finish his story. You need to finish. Come on.
He's a really good talker too, by the way.
So when that happened, I'm like, oh wait, Cena has to come out. Cena comes out, and if you didn't know, last time Cena was in a ring, his last loss was against Solo. He hasn't been around since. This was his way of avenging and taking out Solo.
Cole said something about that too. Yeah, everybody had a reason to be there. Except
Rock
Taker.
comes out, was like, "Fuck this," cursing.
Fuck you, Cena. Get the fuck out of my arena. Fuck. You're gay.
And this was supposed to be the Austin spot, apparently.
I thought Taker was supposed to be the Austin spot.
Nah, I think it was supposed to be Austin, but I mean,
I honestly think because Taker should I think Rock and Cena made total sense. The face off, they look both ways like Hogan did.
Yeah.
And that was the last time Rock was in a ring. It makes sense for Cena also to be like overconfident. Rock to be like, no, fuck you. Which Cena did a great job selling the FU or whatever, and then slicking his hair back. Then the belt comes out, and then the Moxley tease. Rollins, I thought that was a really well done little spot with Roman saving him. Right. And then I thought the glass shattering was what was coming next.
That's what I thought.
And I think that's why Undertaker got such a big reaction because nobody expected that.
The gong and the lights out. I was like, no,
oh my god,
way.
And then the funniest part was when he was leaving. You could see him running because I saw a bunch of executives, like not executive people in suits, running through the Eagles tunnel where they come out. And I'm like, oh, that's Undertaker. And then there was a video on TikTok of it too. So that was great. The idea there is also they didn't say this. But Undertaker feuded with Yokozuna, feuded with Umaga, feuded with, Rikishi, when Rikishi was heel. And then Roman was Taker's last loss at WrestleMania.
So, yeah.
And also he's feuded with Rock a million times, too. But that felt like the Austin spot.
Someone said that Undertaker surely hates the Samoan lineup because he listed off what you just listed off. I'm like,
There's also an element of, the Undertaker's always been like that locker room leader. And when he senses a rift.
That's what I told my buddy. Because we thought it was Austin, then the Taker comes in like, well, he was the locker room enforcer, and he said, you know what, enough is enough. You let these guys do their thing. Yeah. I'm tired of this bullshit.
There were two different Austin chants. They expected Austin when Rollins came out, and then Austin when Taker came out. But then after that, they went right into the finish after the chair shot too, which I was surprised of. I thought for sure, okay, these are all gone. Let's go another 5-10 minutes. And then they went straight to the finish, the 3 crossroads. I love that the emphasis was on these are all 3 right in the middle. Cody's not dumb enough to go to the ropes again because he got hit with the belt, he got hit with the spike. He's got Roman exactly where he wants him. And also, I don't think they said this on commentary. The whole idea that the previous year, had there not been interference, Cody had him beat.
Yeah.
And then the whole idea is you eliminate the interference. He's got to beat him. I thought it would have made a little bit of sense for Orton to get involved, considering he's part of that legacy crew he's the reason Rhodes was there in story.
Yeah.
Obviously, Dustin being involved would have been great, and even Brandy coming out and slapping Heyman or something would have been cool.
You also had
but I think at a certain point you're overdoing it. And I think they overdid it, but they needed to.
Yeah.
But I thought it was well done.
It was missing. One thing it was missing was just a cameo shot of Dustin in the skybox. Because everyone knew he was there, but they don't mention it.
They can't,
for legal reasons, obviously.
Yeah, I understand.
But here's another thing that I saw, and we'll move on to what our takes are, and then we'll wrap up.
Yeah.
This was like an homage to the generations of WWE. Like this is like a new era starting. You had
Yeah.
Taker, the oldest of the bunch. Then I believe it was Attitude Era.
I do have a one little weird thing to tie in, by the way.
All right.
On night one, when Rock made his entrance,
Uh huh.
Michael Cole said only two people have main evented WrestleMania in 4 decades, and he said Undertaker's name. He said Rock and
Mm.
Undertaker. Also, I'll touch on something after this as well when you're finished this.
All right. Yeah. So it was like Taker was the old one, that generation.
Hmm.
Then the Attitude Era with The Rock. Then the ruthless aggression with Cena. Plus the Cena, taking
Yeah,
over.
plus into the PG thing. Yeah.
And then
Almost
you,
like four torches being passed, it felt like.
then you had the current establishment with Reigns in the ring. And now you have the Cody era, which is this new Renaissance
Yeah.
era of WWE. It
I
was
think
well
that's great.
done. Well
Which
done.
also ties all the way back to his dad.
Yeah.
And I think the story that they should have done more to tell the story. So Dusty Rhodes at one point, I think in the Garden, had superstar Billy Graham beat. And he beat him by count out or disqualification or something. And Dusty had the belt in his hands and it was ripped away from him because he technically didn't win the belt.
Yeah.
Because he won by DQ or whatever. They never really touched on that. I think Cole made one small allusion to it. That's the one thing I thought they missed. It was like Dusty, it's always been in his grasp and he never did it. He wrestled Graham 3 times. Never beat him.
I
He
mean,
never beat him for the belt. The one thing I was really, really fascinated by, which led me to think on when I rewatched it, okay, I can see why people maybe think Dustin's getting involved here.
yeah.
So actually two things. In the video package, they show the Young Bucks with Cody in a picture.
I saw
They
an
show
Omega.
they show and Jericho and Omega. And then when Roman makes his entrance, Cole's listing all the people he beat. He said Daniel Bryan, he said Chris Jericho. He said Edge. I'm like, oh, Tony maybe that's the trade off. Maybe not the Sting footage. Maybe just say the names of my guys.
All right.
Or maybe say, hey, Cody went and started a company, and then you can have Dustin for 10 minutes or something.
I mean, they haven't hidden away from that because Roman did say you went and started a different company and you failed at
Yeah.
that, and then you're coming back over here.
Yeah,
So
and
they
I
do
think there
mention
was
AEW without doing too
there was a
much.
moment where I think they said maybe in the video package the narrator says you go and do your own thing, and it's Cody in with like the blonde hair leaving, I think. And they can technically mention that Cody went to TNA because they own TNA now.
Do they? No, AEW does.
No, TKO owns TNA.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right.
That's why Jordan Grace was in the oh
I thought
god,
she could have been out.
If Tony ran TNA. What's up?
She should be coming around soon. She's
She's
pretty good.
great. Yeah, she's very good. That dude Moose in TNA is also really good.
He's a
Former football
savage.
player.
He's a
Yeah.
savage. So Cody
But yeah,
wins.
I thought it was a great job.
Yeah, it was a great job. Great match.
Now the question is, what do you do next? Because this was my problem last year. Because last year I'm like, he's just going to be a face champion, and then he's going to be, 2005 Randy Orton. Like,
I mean, you sure
what do you do?
Gunther. Gunther's got to be next.
Yeah, Gunther's the perfect because they took the belt off him. I think he's the perfect first guy.
But they got two events. I think they got one
France, right?
late in the year. Well, France is next one, but they got one in Germany, and that one, and they have a
I
house
think
show in
that-
Austria where he's
that
from.
should be. I think Germany should be Gunther and Drew. I think that would be a killer feud,
If he
even if they're both
resigns.
heel. Even if they're both heel, that's got to be the next feud. Because you can't let Punk and Drew touch until next April.
Somehow, some way.
I think they get drafted to different brands, and then something happens at the Rumble where Drew tries to redo that spot, and Punk kicks him in the nuts or something, and then they set up a feud. I don't think you build to that at SummerSlam. As silly as that sounds.
A quick one. Do you think they do an homage, and this is a segue to the AEW nonsense. Do you think they meet up at Survivor Series where it's like the one time both brands meet together? Because Survivor Series. And they do a backstage
And
incident.
Drew's in a rental car.
No, just a backstage incident where they have to get separated. and
Where
just-
honestly, they should report it as a real incident and do the blurred lines thing and have everybody be like, no, you're fucking, if you say this is fake, you're getting fired. I
But
don't care if
instead
it's Cody on a fucking podcast saying it's fake, you're getting fired. If you say they should lean into it and be like, yo, and The Rock should have to do like a press conference like, look, guys, I know there's a lot of things that happened in this company. The Rock came back, he was a bad guy. Look, this is unacceptable, and then they should lean into it.
Yeah. And what we're leaning into is, I mean, we can
Yeah, we can touch on it real quick.
touch on it real quick. I mean,
By the way, Cena, Punk, and the mid card came out to celebrate Cody's win,
oh yeah, yeah. That was nice.
which
Mama
was fun.
Rose.
It was very much like the Bret Hart thing. where he
he was
got lifted up
celebrating.
after beating Yokozuna, by the way.
I believe
Huh.
he called out Bruce Pritchard and Triple H. No,
Yeah, Pritchard got booed, by the way,
that's
which was
okay.
pretty funny.
It didn't air on
But
TV.
that was it was on the
I didn't
well,
see
the
it yet.
booze didn't, but I watched the replay the other night. That was interesting. It ended at 10:30, which I thought Sunday night I get, but they should have gotten more time. I think LA and AJ should have gotten more time. I thought the girls should have gotten more
They're
time.
probably just exhausted, honestly, man.
Yeah, I understand.
I was exhausted by that time.
Especially the two guys in the main event. They just had a 45-minute match the night prior.
Right.
Which it makes sense why it makes sense why Rock, was in the ring for so long night one, because Roman had a half hour to go night two.
For
But
sure.
yeah.
Should we touch on what happened yesterday, Wednesday, AEW? They
Yeah,
teased it
fuck
all
these
week.
guys. And it was terrible. Somehow they executed it worse than I expected.
We'll touch on it real quick and then we'll end the
That's
show.
what I get
We're
for
at the
having
2.5
expectations.
mark here. 2 hours and a half mark on the show. Make a comeback, all right.
Should have been a night one and a night two.
Right. AEW all week have been teasing, releasing the footage that happened at Wembley All Out, I believe, where CM Punk got into it with one of their performers, Jack Perry.
Jack Perry, who's the son of an actor, by the way.
Yeah, Jungle Jack Perry. I forget which one.
Yeah. Not Matthew.
No, not him. Which led to Punk being fired. This was back in November, I believe, or October, one of these days.
I think it was October. No, I thought it was August, actually.
Then,
because he came back in November.
And then out of nowhere, because this is all in response to CM Punk's interview with Ariel Helwani, which got a lot of traction all over the place.
More views than Dynamite.
And as Corny said, this was 2 hours of SmackDown, but it was slower because you didn't want to miss a single beat of it instead of fast forwarding, which is a good touch.
Pretty funny. It's pretty funny, though.
Yeah. They went and teased this thing, and they made it a point to media. This is not a bait and switch. This is going to be the real deal Holyfield.
And in fairness, it wasn't.
And it wasn't. And I was
just
all
no
in.
Audio.
No pun intended. All in on that. I set my alarm. I watched it.
Yeah, you texted me. I threw it on. I was driving home last night.
And man, was I so disappointed. And you and
I mean,
both
they showed
had
the
same,
footage. Yeah, it was the
reason,
same thing Punk said.
Yeah, you and I both, for some reason, thought there was going to be audio. Why would there be?
Yeah, it's surveillance. There can't be audio, yeah. So that's what we get.
And yeah, they basically showed exactly what Punk said. The only thing is Punk said that Perry walked up to him and said Punk walked up to him, but everything else was the same.
Yeah.
Samoa Joe stopped him. Chris Hero,
which is hilarious.
Which is probably
Joe just came over and was like, "Hey guys, give it a rest," and he was like, "You know what? You're right. I'm done."
Hook on the far left, looking completely confused, looking left and right the entire time it was going on. Aleister Black with coffee in his hand comes in, breaks the fight, comes right back out like nothing happened.
Well, he knows he could beat the shit out of anybody in that building. That's why.
Tony Khan probably scared shitless, probably calling 911.
He's off. He's off. He's not in camera sight,
right.
But you can see Punk charging him, which Punk is in the wrong here. They're both in the wrong.
Yeah.
But it's not like he killed somebody.
Yeah, he just choked him out a little bit.
This was a joke, and I guess kudos to them. They didn't just go, "Hey guys, time to show the footage." They turned it into like, "Hey, FTR caught us on a day that we were off our good," which is fine. It was silly,
promo.
And then a really shitty promo from FTR right after. Although I like them a lot. Shivani's just like, "They're not on the fucking show sheet," which always means it's an angle.
Yeah, and Shivani's face when they were right before they were going to the cut, he looked like. Damn, dead man walking.
He was like, "Why did you guys fucking make me?" Shout out to Jim Ross.
Bash at the beach.
For not having to sit through that shit.
Oh, Jim Ross.
That was terrible, dude. What an awful. And then the show wasn't terrible. I did stay tuned, but they went right into something that didn't matter. Well, I said to you, if they're going to do this, they're going to bring in viewers that don't watch. That's when they should put on like a fucking Danielson Okada match or something to keep people interested. And then, okay, cool. Let's see what this. I'll keep it on. Let's see what's going on. It's 9:00 at night. Then you throw some sort of a fun match in there, like maybe 2 luchas or something. And go, okay, maybe I should give this company a shot. They have no idea what they're doing.
Bro, Will Ospreay comes in after that promo and just buries Triple H. Not buries, but goes after Triple H for basically banging, Vince's, his wife. That's the only way he got the position because of the grind.
Haven't heard that before.
Brother, you admitted yourself that you took the money and a less schedule to go to AEW than WWE.
It's a joke.
Bozo. Renee looks so visibly disturbed.
I felt bad for her because she's friends with the Levesques.
Yeah.
So, she's friends with Steph and friends with Triple H.
And she's only there because her husband works there.
Who's her husband, by the way?
John Moxley.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, they have a kid together.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she wanted to work with her husband, but
Isn't by the way, isn't Aleister Black married to the chick that's getting dragged on Twitter right now? Vega.
yeah.
Yeah. What a
He
weird. All
they're
the
saying
girls in
that
WWE are married to the
he's the
chicks out there.
assistant in the story.
Oh, for God's sake. Oh, the.
Yeah, the assistant that kind of told the
But
girl. Yeah, it's a shit show.
whatever. It's a
Nevertheless,
joke.
AEW,
Yeah.
as you said, there was no point in showing the footage because you look like bozos. Punk still wins. WWE still wins.
Yeah. Punk
And
is the biggest draw in both companies.
Throughout the night, Corey Graves threw out like a GIF or
Booker
something.
T.
Booker T.
Yeah, there were some good ones.
Dijak and Grayson Waller.
Dijak is so fun. I don't even know who Dijak is, and I love him.
WWE wins all over.
Incredible. And then they also posted something yesterday right before the show started. They posted Punk clapping. It's like Punk loves when a plan comes together, and it's him clapping or smiling or something. That was a WWE account that posted that.
Punk posting George Bush pointing or the thumbs up type of thing.
Meanwhile, he's posting gifs of McAfee eating a Snickers bar. He took a picture underneath the ring on Monday. That was funny. He's living his best life. Even though the CM probably stands for company man now, he's been great. I think he's been promised a main event at WrestleMania. That's why he's on such great behavior.
Oh yeah.
So,
if he gets screwed out of it, you'll see the other side of Punk real quick.
100%. Yeah, he's gonna go back on Hawani and be like, they told me they were giving me a championship.
Hawani, help me here.
I don't know. I'm all the way back in. I love Punk. I'm glad I got to see him sort of in action on Sunday, and he wasn't just a bozo.
Right.
But I loved him and Drew. Oh my God, the real winner in this whole footage thing are Drew and Punk. I bet you Punk is texting Drew. I mean, we can go so many different directions with this.
Right.
And it's so funny. Drew's doing his best work.
I'm loving every second of this.
Yeah, this is incredible. I'm excited for what's going to happen. I hope I can stay interested throughout the summer. I have less to do, so I'm not playing baseball, but I will try to stay tuned.
Oh, I'll be all in on that one. No pun intended again. And lastly, before we end the show, I was at the Monday night, after Mania. Crowd was red hot, as you can expect it. I was on the hard cam side, full crowd. Dude, if you ever get a chance, the club seating at the Wells Fargo Center is class.
I was in it a long, long time ago for a concert before they renovated the whole place.
You can QR code on the armrest, food and drinks delivered right to your seat. You don't have to get up. Nice, comfortable chairs and a nice hard cam view of the ring. Rock coming out, electric. We were booing mercifully. It was great.
The Rock saying, "Can I hold it?" is a callback to when Cody said a long time ago, when Rock redid the title, Cody was a heel. He said, "Can I just hold it?" And it was a callback to that, I believe. Well, so that was a terrible segment, by the way. But
I don't think it caught on to the TV. But when he said that, everyone had a visceral reaction. Everyone was like, "Hey, yo!" And I screamed out, "Pause!"
You can hear it a little bit. You can hear the "This is awkward" chant. It was such a bad segment. And then this show was kind of shitty until the end. It felt like an Attitude Era Raw, though.
Yeah, but it had some good stuff. I'm pretty sure Roxanne Perez and Ilya Dragunov, the NXT champions, they will be called up pretty soon.
And also, fucking Ripley eating that chair shot was fucking hilarious. Tiff throwing was it Liv Morgan throwing the chair at her?
That was a vicious attack too.
Outstanding work.
I got to see that camera work afterwards as well.
Who do we think is going to be King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring?
I don't know. My brain's fried at the moment.
I'm going Gunther and Stratton.
I can see Stratton living up to the princess.
I think Gunther's above it, but Gunther deserves it because Gunther's not a Money in the Bank guy.
Oh hell no!
But yeah, we'll dive into that in the future. We'll try. Yeah, right. He's gonna have a giant briefcase with like a tuxedo on it. We'll dive into it in the future. We've already gone into. We're in hour 3. We're in like the 3rd hour of Raw right now.
Yeah, we're 2 hours and a half almost.
But folks, we appreciate you tuning back in, listening to this show. We try to bring it. We had a lot to get to. We'll have a little bit less to get to next time, so we'll be able to do it a little bit better. But maybe we'll find some more little details to talk about from night 1 and night 2.
Yeah, for sure. All right, guys. This has been episode 145 of the PA Turn Pod. Until next time.